Yeah, but coach is what I'm the most proud of being.
Yes. Owner, coach. Are there any other hats that you're wearing?
I'm a father. I'm a lover.
Wow.
I'm a singer. Yeah, no, it's...
What problems did these guys have? What did you have to break on these guys to make them better players?
Everything.
It's been a...
Started with the body and moved on. I'm not even kidding. My mouth is already on fire.
Just eat it. Don't think about it.
This one's gonna be bad. I can feel already.
It's not that bad yet.
I'm only drinking this because I love milk.
You love milk?
Yeah,
They're healthy.
I'm that
for
kind of
your
guy.
bones.
Swedes, they love milk.
And Zadia, I went and looked up some pictures of you. I got
Oh,
some
God.
secret pictures of you. So what's the story with this?
I'm a big Liquid fan. I was walking around at Birmingham and I saw this big Liquid flag and asked if I could buy it.
Wow.
And then when I got it signed by the entire Liquid team.
And I got one more. You said that you wish this picture got
Are you
deleted.
serious?
You said that you hope that it never
my
surfaced.
It was great.
And now he's...
Why do you hate it? I think you look cool.
No comment.
All right. I'm dying.
Sorry guys, I'm giving up on the water.
What the?
It's not that bad, actually.
Are you for...
It's getting bad.
Are you for real?
It's getting bad.
Are you for real?
Shut up.
All right, here is the laning partner bowl. I want each one of you to pull it out.
I got one.
Oh my... Are you serious? Is this real? Do people like eat this?
All right. If I was an animal, which one would I be?
It would be a...
Puppy.
You have ice in your mouth?
Yeah.
I'm getting tears from this.
Be a lion cub.
If you could go back and redo any game in any tournament, which one would it be and what would you change? Oh
I'm
my
actually
lord.
crying from this.
I would go back to TI9 finals and ban Wisp. Would have been easy finals. Who's
handling
the
it
best
like a champ.
captain you've ever had?
I mean, the best is you. Like, I haven't had any other captains, kind of.
Best captain.
All right.
I like playing under Garter.
It's okay, Loda,
He's dying. I'm like,
you're handling it. It's hard.
dude, as long as you talk, it's fine.
All right.
All right.
That was easy.
The Techies nuclear apocalypse.
Oh, fucking
Is it worse?
It is worse.
What?
It's painful. We have a tradition here. If you'd like, put a little extra
No.
on the top
Give it to me.
just to see how much you can handle.
You gotta do it for the fans.
You can
guys.
do it
We
for
gotta
the
do it for the
fans.
fans.
Don't
We
do
gotta
it.
for the
Don't
fans.
do it for the fans. You're gonna regret this later. You're gonna like die.
Yes, but dude, we gotta do it for the fans.
I'm not doing it for the fans.
All right, sure. I'll take a...
Gentlemen,
I wanna cry.
the last one. The final hurrah. And then we have
ears are burning.
Me too.
one more
I'm
question.
gonna pass out. Yeah.
Techies nuclear apocalypse. Here we go.
I can't feel my mouth. Can't feel my teeth. My tongue is gone.
I don't know what's going on anymore. All right.
Okay.
A little bit broken up.
I'm actually
Yeah.
shaking.
I thought I didn't.
It's like playing as Gambit.
This one made me numb, so at this point I'm just like,
Are you serious?
yeah.
I'm burning.
No, but this is. I don't even know what happened to me. It's
Oh
because
my
like
God.
I died inside, and now there's nothing left.
This is why you're a TI winner, actually.
If there was a chat wheel line for the two people sitting with you, what would their line be?
I don't know what mine is. Probably I'm dead.
His is probably, I'm dead, and then wait, no. Oh wait, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. I live.
I'm falling apart inside.
Dude, I'm freezing and hot and cold and hurting and...
Gentlemen, we've done it. We went to hell and back. Raise your milks with me. Let's watch this out. There's not a lot of milk left from any of us, but well done, Team Alliance. Woo!
I've never felt this emotion
I actually
before.
don't know what's wrong with me.
I'm having a fever, dude.
Well, we could see that they could barely handle the heat in the kitchen. We're going to have to see if they can handle the heat of the main stage. Let's actually talk about these boys for just a little bit longer, actually talk about these teams, because we've seen them go head-to-head in the past.
Yeah, I think so. And it ended up being Alliance winning, I believe, 2-1 over
Correct.
them. And I think the biggest thing for me is in a lot of these matchups, I'm looking at the 4 roles, but in this one, I'm looking at the 1 role. Meke as well as Monet, I think, are the 2 best players on each of their team. And it's pretty crazy. When it comes down to a best of 1, you might get Terrorbladed. You don't know. You might get Meke Morphling. And I'm very curious to see what they actually choose. Best of 1.
And I feel like there's also a huge distinct. Like Monet obviously has a ton of experience. He's played on the stage before. He's made deep runs into this TI, or not this TI, but you get what I'm saying. Yeah, Mickey, it's his first time. I don't think he's really ever been on a stage quite this large.
Big, yeah.
He's played at World Championships in Han. This is a bit of a different story. Bigger arena,
This is
bigger
a
prize.
harder game.
A real
I'm
game.
going to say position 3.
You're also sitting on this desk, so
Position 3, this is the position to look out for. Boxy, this is the player that stands out for me in the Alliance. The first time, I love the players who think out of the box, because I remember one of the games, CK, with the Road of Athos and a double bracer. This is when I knew that this guy can think of his own and can make a lot of stuff happen. On the different side, you have Flyby. Maybe the player to look out for is Lana, because this guy can make a lot of space for his teams, for both of the carries. If mid is not going well, he's going to step up and make all the space in the world.
fortunately for us, Dove actually got a chance to sit down with the folks from RNG, and that might actually give us a little bit more insight into what this team's going to be able to bring.
那今年 RNG 其实还挺坎坷的，从前期不太顺到后面换人，然后又打了个 major， 你们感觉怎么样？
感觉就和你说的话一样吧，非常的坎坷，一路就是从3月到6还是到5月吧，连续3个月换人吧。对我来说，感觉看到一批又一批的队友就是离开，我也算是比较难过的。然后现在又进了 TI， 怎么说，非常的激动，非常开心，又成为 TI。
大哥，
因为我是后来的嘛，就是我来了以后感觉到就是还是比较辛苦的。就是我们内部的说法就是 RNG 永不放假，不是我们的口号是 RNG 永不放弃嘛，然后我们的内部是 RNG 永不放假，因为我们是属于经常是 mana 出现，然后 mana 出现，然后如果你没打进 major， 你马上要去准备下一个 major 的预选。
那你们口头禅嘛，有没有几个队友的？
我们的新口号好像是 RNG Team。
我没有问口号。
不是，你刚才不是问口号吗？
口头禅。
哦，口头禅。就
比如哪个队友经常说哪句话？
傻德给我的印象比较深的就是，教练问傻德选什么的时候，傻德就一下，然后就定住了，然后就没有然后了。
那打进 TI 预选之后有放假吗？
好像就放了3、4天吧，很少，假期非常的少。反正总共下来这1年，可能加起来没超过1个月的假期。
那国土其实也是有家室的嘛，你自己。
对啊，就是因为来了 RNG 以后，就是背负着一点东西嘛，然后想证明一下自己，就还是比较拼的。
那 TI 预选打架了，觉得证明了自己吗？
那肯定不算呀，那肯定在 TI 上要拿到好成绩才算。
那回顾整个赛季，你们对自己成绩还算满意吗？
肯定不满意啊！就是，很伤心的是，我们每一个比赛基本上都是1轮游嘛，就是很难过。
你们觉得应得的成绩是什么？
可能不如1轮游吧。
这太低了，国
土。心理预期啊，心理预期，队伍的心理预期可能就是包括我们，管理层跟我们聊的是心理预期应该是在前6吧。我个人的心理预期肯定是我要往高调一点，对吧？
整个这1年，你们印象最深刻的一件事情或者一个瞬间是什么时候？
印象最深的，你还别说，我印象比较深刻的是我还没来的时候，就是因为我还没来的时候，不是 RNG 当时要打 Mina 的预选还是 Major 的预选，然后Mina 的预选，然后他们过年没回家嘛，确实就是印象比较深刻的。
那2位其实去年都做过很重要的决定，加盟 RNG， 有没有曾经怀疑过自己当初的决定？
没有怀疑吧，就是自己做的事情可能没有处理得当。
每个人有每个人的处理方式，我是属于那种就是做了决定就因为你没办法去改变周围的环境，你只能改变自己，你只能加强自己。
今年 TI 毕竟是在上海嘛，算是本土作战了，你们会有什么不一样的期待吗？
期待我的 朋友们啊、粉丝们啊，来为我加油吧。
莫奈特 team。
期待自己能在需要改变、需要进步的方向去进步吧。
那最后还是有没有兴趣捧一下我们这个盾？
不敢摸，
不敢摸。
比较信邪。
会想起伤心的往事吗？
没摸过，
是吧？
想不起来，想不起来，记忆力比较差。
主要是我往年都很信邪，我没摸，我今年我要摸一摸。
今年慢一点啊！
我不把它捧起来，我就摸一下。
摸一下。
对，我
摸的他都摸了。
后面什么呀？
后面是往年 TI 所有的夺冠队伍和选手，
都是在后面刻着的。
对，要不你也摸一下？那刚刚盾也摸了，鞋也信了，你们觉得对自己有信心吗？夺冠或者哪些队伍会是比较强大的对手？
觉得秘密可能是夺冠热门吧。
那你觉得 RNG 真的就直接跳过了吗？
心里是没有跳过的，但是不能说出来，
偷偷的。
对你这自己不能奶自己，对吧？这个这是大家都知道的。那个就秘密危机老干爹吧。
好，干净利落，谢谢两位。
I really like their little catchphrase, just RNG team, or the other catchphrase that they threw.
That's usually me, like when you need something smart to say. Yeah, I don't know, guys.
Usually I don't ask you those.
It's kind of terrifying. I think Grant's actually the smart one on this panel.
Yeah, I saw. Well, originally Dendy was going to be on this panel, and then we got.
Well, Grant would still be the smartest.
Thank you, Lucas.
I got your back.
What would your catchphrase be, Kyle?
I don't know. Oh no, not again.
I don't know. Chat, we're going to double check to see what you guys have to say about what Kyle's catchphrase is. I don't know what mine would be. Probably like something like...
I don't think it's appropriate for this broadcast.
It would be a cute catchphrase.
I don't know, man. I wouldn't push your luck. I saw backstage, there's this blackboard, right? And just a bunch of fire emojis and then different odds next to our names.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yours are 3-1. I don't know what that means.
See, the only thing I have backstage is actually a whiteboard. Yeah, like a maybe it's an easel, but yeah, definitely. We could,
2-1 now.
Yeah, we can bring that out a little bit later. But let's jump back into talking about these squads here before we actually make our way back to that blackboard and increase any of those numbers. Who do you think has the highest odds to actually take this one down? We talk about recent history a little bit. We say that Alliance should have the edge. Do you think that the fact that we're actually here at TI, you're surrounded by a fan base of your region, do you think that may come into play, Lucas?
Well, it's definitely gets into your head. It's a best of one elimination game. Who has more experience? Yeah. Definitely RNG has more experienced players. I think we're going to see some more cheesy picks here as a 10th pick, especially from Alliance. I'm going to call Storm Spirit as well as a cheesy pick because there's no... If you 10th pick it, you're not going to have any counters for the Storm Spirit, and the Koikwa just excels in that.
They're not going to 10th pick it if they take Storm, though. That'll be first, too. They're confident with it. I would be... If I'm Alliance, I want to pick heroes like Timbersaw. It's the... Because what's Alliance's biggest issue throughout the year, right? They get the lead, they give it away. It's a BO1. You don't want to have that happen again. True. I want to see them pick up heroes that not just like when they get a lead, it's cemented easily because, you know, if you're a Timbersaw and you're ahead of a game, you're ahead. You can't die. Like, you can easily press your tempo. Storm Ember, a lot more high risk.
And this was something as well that we did talk about when we were at the minors, and now we're going to have to see if that is going to be an issue they have. They are already taking the stage. Let's see who's going to be able to take the first best of one of the day.
Alliance versus RNG. Game 1.
A spicy way to start our best of ones. Alliance versus RNG. The last time these guys matched up against each other, gentlemen, was the DPC Epicenter. Alliance actually beat RNG, but that was a best of 3. And this is a best of 1. And RNG actually did take that first game in that best of 3 as well. So it feels like we've got an even odds situation on our hands.
This should turn out to be a fun one, right? I think we've been looking at Alliance, and their last few games looked pretty greedy. They tried to run a 5 bristleback, literally, and it kind of blew up in their faces. They've also had a couple ones where they've gone a bit greedy, and I think they've gotten punished a lot for it. So I feel like in this one, at least for me, for Alliance, I don't want them to go so greedy. I think if they do that versus RNG, they're just going to get steamrolled. I think RNG, they had the fastest game of the tournament so far, too, right?
So I actually found out the story behind the Bristol 5. What ended up happening is Insignia said, well, it was going to be 100% for Boxy, and the Boxy looked at the draft, said, okay, this is actually one of the worst Bristle games that we could possibly have. And he's like, I'm going to look bad on this hero. It's fine. And Insania, being the captain of the year, is just like, I'll play it. I'm sure this will go great.
I mean, hey, we saw it in the interview, right? He said, do it for the fans. He took the hottest sauce, just like in that game. He took the hardest role, which is the 5-position bristleback. I appreciate any captain who's willing to take that role upon himself.
Yeah, it's sort of like when Kuroki played the puck support in the games that we saw in the group stage. That's definitely not something that you practice, but at a TI, you have to learn how to be flexible, especially in the draft. I mean, if it works, you look like a genius and you introduce a new wrinkle. And if you lose, you're in the lower bracket. That's what happens.
So, Fox, you said that I don't want to see Alliance get too greedy. What do you want to see RNG do here?
I think RNG should just stick with their guns, and I think RNG's also been one of the few teams that I've seen actually not break their like the way that they do drafting order. They are literally every single time I've seen them pick, they've done support, offlane, and then they save their last 2 cores. I think every single time I've seen, actually Setsu gets the overall last pick for his team. When I look through all of their games, pretty much at this entire tournament, it's been nothing changed from that.
That is super unique, right, Will? The fact that like just opening with 2 supports like that, almost everybody's opting for 1 core.
We see Newbie often even save their 5 position for the very last pick. That's something that's pretty unique to them. I think partially what it is that Setsu is a newer player, and I think it's important to sort of get confidence, give him the best possible matchups. Because when I have seen RNG play, and when they do play well, it's when he's having a very good game. I really feel like it's important to enable your mid laner at a tournament like this.
Yeah, it's like one of the few teams I actually saw where they don't actually flex really at all. Where we talk a lot about the flex picks, the Maranas, something like that. They actually they pick the Marana and you're like, that's Lanem. You know for a fact it's gonna be Lanem. The other Titan, they've had a little bit of back and forth between Lanem and Afu, but yeah, they've really just been sticking to just their overall like the way that they want to do their drafts. It's really
speaking of flex, we saw the big muscly man Koifa there, who's going to be his mid matchup against Setsu.
Yeah, that's going to be and that's the open up of a Dark Willow into the Leshrac Abaddon.
That's a really good answer to Dark Willow, right?
Yeah. Interesting though. The Shadow Demon's not looked at though, right? That's a bit of a odd one out.
You have Leshrac, who has good AoE, targeted, not a targeted stun, and then on top of that, you have Abaddon, who just gets rid of the Curse Crown. And it just feels good, because you can't ever get bursted. Plus, it's relatively flexible still. Like, both these picks, you talked about how they don't really do it as a flex.
Yeah.
But as a last-second option, you can. Both of these can either be, you can go anywhere from mid to carry with any of these, really, aside from the Abaddon, who's most likely going to be offlane or support.
It's kind of cool to see that they've I feel like they broke their formula. Like I haven't seen them do that the entire tournament.
I really don't. I feel like that can't be a 5 and a 4 position, just straight up, right? Just because that support duo is going to be a little weird.
That's the issue with the support duo. I think is like you sort of lack playmaking. You want something that can get in there, which is why Alliance really likes having.
Whoa! What is this?
Just opening void.
You know what? I'm down with it. As we watch the Void dance on stage, I almost feel like Alliance is coming to this with a very, very clear plan and confidence in that plan.
I think part of it, what it is Alliance is trying to make the game as easy for themselves as possible. At the Summit, they said their drafting philosophy is pick playmakers that have disables. Well, Void is the ultimate disable.
It's true.
Chronosphere is it's 5 different stuns in one, right?
And technically, you can stun your entire team. That's like 9.
Oh, damn.
Didn't think about that. The heads up play.
Did not.
Oh, it's really interesting that Alliance they're just going to stick to themselves then. It seems like I don't think it really matters what they're going to be playing against. I think they've got their own draft that they've probably already decided a little bit in advance coming in versus what RNG's been doing.
Do you think this is about superior team fight?
Yes, and what it is as well is I think Alliance, what I really like in a best of 1 situation is just play what you're good at. You don't have to get into the whole like best of 3 meta where you're counterpicking. I think if you believe that you're the better team, which I honestly believe Alliance does, you want to be as stable as possible with your draft. That means picking good crowd control. That means picking good team fight. One of the scariest things in Dota is going high ground. In a best of 1 situation, going high ground against a faceless Void who can always pierce through BKB and just always has good team fight and can threaten. I think that's always going to be a good thing.
It's always a late game. They have a late game insurance right off the bat, right? In a best of 1, that always feels pretty good as long as you don't get run over. So that's the one thing I was talking about. I'm a little concerned of them potentially getting run over if RNG does draft a very fast-paced lineup, and Void can get punished in that manner.
Yes, that's one thing that we saw against LGD is when they do draft the Void, what they dislike is that tempo. When you can play very quickly, they like to pick it where they can play more of a mid-game, slightly later game timing, where they gave a lot of farm to Ame, but in this kind of game, especially with Leshrac, Abaddon, you have two different ways to siege. You have one heal that can consistently purge off, and you have the Leshrac with the Edict.
And to back that point up, Alliance do exactly that. They ban arguably the two most mid-game heavy cores in the game right now. Alchemist, who has this insane mid-game timing, and Wraith King, who's had a lot of success there as well.
Yeah, it seems like they were kind of forced to ban those, right? But I think this hurts quite a bit. Giving away the Shadow Demon now also, so it gives this Leshrac this setup easily throughout the game. It's also great save versus the Void as well. So that's gonna be, I mean, that's a really good pickup there for RNG.
Yeah, it's good against the Void in both that you can disrupt whoever gets Chronoed, and later, before he gets BKB, you can disrupt him as well. Plus, Abaddon always feels good to play against Void. You can't ever burst that hero.
There's definitely going to be a lack of targets, it seems, for this Faceless Void.
Yeah. And there's potential for fun late game, right, Cap? That I know we're probably looking forward to.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Ags Abaddon.
The
We're
Ags Abaddon.
I know we're both hoping for it, but
Yannis and I are both big fans.
Yeah. This also changed the principle that you were talking about, leading with the two supports.
Yeah, it's a good way to adjust, right? You're coming into a BO1, other team might have done a lot of homework on you. They probably see that formula coming out as well. So yeah, breaking that formula coming in here is definitely a neat approach.
Now, one of the easiest things to follow up a Faceless Void is just, there's a general philosophy, just get damage you can dump inside the Chronosphere, right? So who are some of our heroes that we're going to be looking for to pair with that?
I mean, the biggest one is really taken out, right? That Elder Titan right off the bat in the start. The Mirana is also not going to be in the pool. Those are two of the ones that I love to see the most. Besides that, there's sometimes like the Invoker, but I don't think that we're going to be seeing anything like that. I think we've been seeing Koikva playing pretty, I wouldn't say limited pool, but more of his comfort style.
I would have said they were going to guarantee take the AA if it was available to them. That's a combo that they really like. The only issue with that hero is that it's very slow, but instead we're going to probably see the Insania Crystal Maiden. This hero, for me, has been gaining traction as a 5. Like, I sort of like it. You can nuke out the range creep so you can push out the lane, and this is the hero that Lacoste actually mentioned on the panel, the Storm pick.
And that it's exactly what you want if you're talking about that best of one, playing the high ground, right? Like, what beats a Void and a Storm Spirit?
The only downside is that I think that you can potentially get punished, especially if the laning phase goes wrong. Both these heroes need time to catch up. Storm, you need to hit the jungle, you need to default to stuff like that, so we'll see.
So the story of this has got to be Boxy coming in big, right? With this last pick offlaner, whatever it is, it has to be relatively fast tempo, and it has to just take over the game for a certain point to give his Storm and Void enough time to work.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of more of the box heroes. I'm just thinking, like, just stick with the style, right? Alliance, I look at their 4 heroes, and I think if you could just erase RNG's draft, and this is probably what Alliance would have picked anyway in some situations, right? This is 4 very comfortable heroes that they've been playing with at this tournament.
RNG choose to ban away the Bristleback as one of those heroes just to stand in front of towers and slow things down.
What's a good initiator here? Because Alliance, they have the Void for like a follow-up, but you want someone else to kind of start the fight, right? And they still have the Willow there. They could still go for something like, I mean, Ogre's still in the pool if they did want to go for it, right?
Yeah.
Boxy Ogre.
Yeah, it enables the Faceless Void a lot, right?
Yeah, it'd be strong too because you can pressure in lane.
Yeah.
And this hero doesn't really care. You just sort of run at people.
I've seen a good amount of the Willow Ogre dual lane actually, and it just like, I think I've seen it just run over pretty much every single safe lane that it's been up against. So I do think that's a bit of a possibility. It works really well with their whole synergy, as Cap was mentioning with the Bloodlust. Thinking here hard about their last ban.
Yeah.
What's that like?
They are running out of reserve time, so...
Yeah, like which one's going to be the actual supports? Because right now, like Lanem's traditional ones are kind of gone that he's been playing a lot. Is he going to be playing a little switch up for that Lash, and they're going to make this core, off lane Abaddon? Could be the case. They could still make Monet playing the Leshrac in the safe lane too.
I will say, if I'm a Storm, I'd love to be in a situation where I'm against the Lash, as they're going to take the Gyrocopter for themselves, so this is going to be an off-lane Void.
And that is true. Something that we definitely did not expect, right? But that does fulfill one of our requirements, which is damage to dump inside that Chronosphere, right?
Yeah. So the issue that I had was I actually wanted to see some sort of hero like Axe, But part of the problem is you run into a weird situation where all of a sudden you have a melee core that doesn't get enabled through the chrono.
Yep.
And so it almost has to be some sort of range hero that can also dump damage in, like you said. Gyro fits that bill. And more importantly, he's a very fast tempo carry.
And it's definitely throwing Royal Never Give Up for quite the loop. You could see Lanem motioning to his head. I think he got in there a little bit.
I wonder if they could do something like... It's a bit too greedy, actually. Never mind. I was going to suggest something like a Morphling, just because I see now Gyrocopter, I see Willow. You've got these dream targets as Aghanim Morphling. If they do want to go for that, I think it's a bit greedy if RNG does actually go for something like that, because they have Ember, and Ember Morphling feels a little bit just... I don't know. And, whoa.
All right, well, there's your late game carry and the hard counter to the Storm Spirit, Blitz.
Oh, all right. So I traditionally hate playing against this hero, a Storm, because at some point you will get caught out. It is an inevitability.
Fogto, I mean, what do you think about this? Does RNG, have they just given themselves the late game win condition? It seemed like everything was lining up for Alliance to have that better late game.
I know teams always talk about the AM versus that Void matchup. It can go both ways. Void can be a bit easier to execute, though, and it is an off-lane Void, so I do think this Gyro could set the tempo for Alliance to be able to bring it to RNG.
And Blitz, I mean, what does Alliance have to do here to be able to overcome that Storm versus AM matchup?
You can't ever give a free kill on the Storm versus the Anti-Mage, which is so hard to do, but you have to assault his safe lane as frequently as possible. I'd like to see Koikva make a power rune play, go to the top lane, try to get as aggressive as possible, help Boxy take that tower. Yeah. Squeeze in the Anti-Mage's farm, make sure that you take over the triangle, take the tier 1 towers as fast as possible, and Roshan is going to be the biggest thing for me. If you can get an Aegis on the Storm, it makes the effectiveness of the Anti-Mage go down by so much.
Like simultaneously, we have both this this lineup that was supposed to go late game. Last picks the Gyrocopter. Now they're the ones who have to be aggressive.
Yeah, it does seem like to be like that. It's definitely a bit of a threatening lineup here from RNG going into that later stage.
All right, the beginning of our best of ones, Alliance versus RNG, and we've got a special treat. Final words with Casey and Loda.
Thank you, guys. All right, Loda, very, very quickly, how are you feeling based on how the draft went that you're going to be doing in this game?
I mean, I'm feeling good. I think that there was some funny stuff happening during the draft. It feels like an Alliance draft, and I think the boys are going to do really fine. Yeah.
How did you motivate your team from inside the pod, since you know what they're going through and what it feels like having been a player in there yourself?
Honestly, I just tell them to, dare to trust themselves, just dare to play out the game, don't show any fear. We're just here to play Dota, just like any other day. There's a lot of, there's a lot on the line, but I think it's the Alliance win. I think they're gonna do really well. Yeah.
Feel confident?
Yeah, I feel confident.
Loda, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the lower bracket where dreams are made and also crushed. Trent, it's all happening right now, man.
Yeah. Confident? Was that confidence I saw in Lotus face? It didn't look that confident. I know he's saying that he's very hopeful here, but it's scary stuff. The draft, an Alliance draft, hasn't really been something that has been praised all that much. They've been up, they've been down. They're a tumultuous team. So we'll see if the Anti-Mage has their number this time from Monet.
Well, I will say that he was throwing out a couple of last words there to his team as he was leaving the booth, and he did have a smile on his face there at the very least, feeling like they at least got what they wanted. The Koikva Storm, I mean, this has been truly a classic for them over and over and over again, paired together with that Crystal Maiden, and again, the big thing that we're going to have to watch for in those later stages is where do the Chronos lands? They're putting it all on Boxy as quick little stun goes out, RNG picking up 2 of those bounty runes. The rundown for Flyby, trying to find the kill onto the Abba. Can they get first blood? Just barely outside of range, and they do manage to pick it up. Mickey drawing first blood.
Hey. So Alliance able to get that onto their carry, and also versus the offlaner too. So Flyby just, not really feeling it at the beginning, and he's going to have some help from Lanham, but this isn't exactly a threatening lane, right? With like a Leshrac combo here. Leshrac and Abba. I'm not too concerned if I'm playing in that lane versus them.
No, truly not. Not a whole heck of a lot of kill potential.
Till the levels start stacking up, then we have some serious spam and harass. That can be annoying.
Fair enough, yeah. Well, Mickey up there with Insania as well. Insania already out of
I'm worried about that guy down there, though.
Uh-oh. Afu trying to run away. Does look like they're going to continue the pressure onto him, but should be able to just get the walk away. Although Boxy moves forward, goes with a body block, seeing if they can find the walk off, but it's not quite going to be there. And Boxy instead is going to be the one taking a couple of pot shots as we get a short little pause there from Afu.
He's got to breathe after that, got a little worried for a second. He's got a couple sound problems there. So
Well, one thing that I really
low.
wanted to touch on, and now that we have this little pause, Boxy has so often for this team been like that stalwart force in the middle of everybody, making the plays on big initiators. And what bigger initiator is it than Void? Like, if I want to put the game all in one player's hands on this team, I feel like it's probably Boxy.
Yeah, it's a dangerous thing, though. We have not seen the Faceless Void in the offlane anymore. Used to have a stable presence there for quite a while, right? And it makes sense, because in the offlane, we like to have the initiators, the team fighters, the guys who scream and yell when they go into battle. But Faceless Void, he needs so much. He feels like he needs a lot of items to be effective here. So Boxy probably going to want a lot of kills here early with Taiga.
No, totally. And I think that there's always these questions, too, of like, are we going to go back to the old days of needing to get aggro and picking up treads? Is he going to go like the Hand of Midas? I feel like that was the classic question that always got asked way back in the Faceless Void days. But the bigger thing, too, is just how do you play around that hero and not get picked off by the anti-mage, particularly on the Storm Spirit? That's going to be one of the big things to watch for in this one, I think.
Yeah, I liked how they were bringing up on the draft panel at the end there, too. Just this idea of like, yeah, I'd like to see him like push towers and like get Roche. And you start to look at the heroes and you're like, yeah, push towers. There's pretty much Leshrac. Typical Ember draft where you really need someone else that hits towers. At least you have the split push there from RNG in terms of the anti-mage. But for the side of Alliance, hitting towers is not necessarily their strong point in this one. And really, objectives overall are going to be a little bit difficult to take. It feels like they got to be bloodthirsty first and then go back.
That always makes for the best of games, though. I have
true.
to say that you get into these situations where suddenly 5 kills happen, one after the other. There's a billion buybacks around a Roche fight or what have you. And that's really, I think, the bread and butter of Alliance drafts, going into the late game and having some crazy stuff happen.
We lost our Norwegians.
There were a few of them in the back.
Taiga, I believe, the first Norwegian player who they were happy to tell us about here.
Yeah.
And they screamed his name as loud as they could, but clearly they went to get some perfect seats to watch their boy play. That's pretty exciting, though. I have to say, we got fans coming from all over here to Shanghai, the lovely international.
Yeah, and I think that it's sort of been a hallmark of this event that no matter where it's held, you get people from all over the world.
It's true. That is the best part.
There's always a very large contingent of Chinese fans when it comes to North America. And I have a feeling that as well, there's probably going to be a few of them hanging around there as well. So we are fixing a few technical issues right now. We should be able to hop back into the game very shortly. The other thing that I wanted to talk about here, though, was that it felt like Alliance was kind of constantly getting a little bit of extra love from the crowd. I was a little bit surprised to see that.
Yeah, the crowd has been hot and cold a bit here today. So you heard Dove say, right? They like TI winners. You get respect. And I guess that transfers over. You get grandfathered in.
It's just because coming up on stage.
Navi came out, they cheered. That's true. I guess Loda was there. But then Alliance comes out, they cheer quite loudly. I think they got cheered louder than Newbie did.
Yeah, it might have. And Newbie's the Chinese organization.
Obviously, just one of the Chinese teams, just fitting in with the boys, trying to hang out.
Yeah, most definitely. I think that this is going to be one of those years, too, where you start to see the numbers dwindle down a little bit, and then they're really going to latch onto one particular team. At least for me, that's kind of what it's feeling like. Obviously, some of those Chinese are in the upper bracket, but there's less of the games in the upper bracket, so you start to build these storylines. And RNG and Alliance, to me, feel like both teams that could make a huge run here through the upper bracket, or lower bracket. I think that both of them probably were feeling like they maybe should have gotten into that upper bracket.
It's tough. It's tough because it's so close. But thankfully, we're so close back to the game. There she is. And if you forgot, Boxy just spent a lot trying to take down Apu. Apu now salve back up. And Boxy, only 3 tangos left to his name, but Taiga is holding a salve too.
So it does look like a lane setup that we haven't seen a whole heck of a lot of in the group stages leading up to it. The Faceless Void and the Dark Willow against AM and Shadow Demon. Kind of interesting draft all along the lines for Royal Never Give Up. They got the double save going on with Shadow Demon and the Abba.
Makes sense when the Void gets picked up so early too, right?
Yeah.
And a hero who he was having a rise in popularity in terms of like the pub scene quite a bit over the past couple weeks, but still hasn't like really propelled fully into the position 1 that maybe some people were expecting after the last few weeks of pubs.
Definitely.
This is no surprise though, the mid lane. The Quake for Storm Spirit, Alliance specialty with the Crystal Maiden. Has tons of trays down there in that bottom lane. The battle of regen. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, the timing there. Whoops. Bit of lag. I see a courier.
Oh my goodness.
I see a
behind the tower.
Yeah, and a split earth.
So I think that he does know that this courier is over in this direction. Landon does.
If I had to guess, he was going for a split earth to break some trees so he can cut in and find this courier. So my assumption currently is that Alliance have not yet seen this Leshrac.
Right, yeah.
And he's go. They have a feeling that he's in here, but he's going to try and find this courier by cutting some trees.
Okay.
He's got a haste rune too, so he might just get away with it.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they are going to be able to get in there and just sneak away that kill. Although they are,
I mean,
they did
he's
have
so
a ward
fast
out
though.
there.
Like, how do you stop him from just getting it? All right,
Oh my
will
God,
it
this is
live
gonna
or
be the
will it
most
die?
intense
Take your
juke
bets in
ever.
the chat. Lanham's coming in. Oh, where's the courier? Oh, other tree line there, bud. Okay, now he's out. All right, courier lives. Congratulations to those who took a chance.
They did have that ward there on the high rune, so maybe they spotted that, and that's why they moved back.
That's true. His way on in there all speedy like.
Well, still looking for some more punches here. Did not manage to buy a bash on the Void against Afu, although the Brambles are brought down. Afu is still walking away, though, and going to go for the disruption
All right,
play. Can he juke it?
play.
The juke? No.
It's like, do I try the next level, or do I just go for it? And well, he went for it.
Waste their time a little bit more. That's important. So up top, a lane that we haven't really talked about all that much. Continued farm, and Mickey's been able to get a pretty nice time so far, as well as the ABBA, 9-2 versus the 15-2. And with this wave pushing in, should make it a little bit better as well as they start trading off there in the mid. Quakeva right now a little bit ahead of that Ember Spirit.
Yeah, again, this top lane likely to just be rather chill, but it does offer possibilities for Lanham to make rotations. With an Ember in the mid lane, you never know whether it's going to be a Slight, a Bola, and then into a Split Earth with some additional damage. So Flyby, not really someone who needs full assistance all the time, as they will, constant harass between these teams. And that mid lane, again, it's one of those things where it's just, I'm going to farm, you're going to farm, I got a jungle, you got a jungle. Probably going to need some rotations unless you have that like perfect race to 6 moment where one of them's going to go for the kill on the other.
Right, of course.
And Rune's always going to be a big factor too.
Oh, Boxy again, trade hits. Monet thinking about going. Ooh.
Give him the dance.
Taiga's going to make this rotation. See what they can find. The pole being used now. Taiga not quite able to get there with the root to be walked into it. And now the stun coming out, but he is pretty close to his tower. The rotation is coming in with the TP from the Lesh. And as Lanham shows up, that might be the end of the gank.
Yeah, that goes right through that though. Woo, the jukes.
Dodge away, Taiga.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not going to matter though, as the root comes through and Fairy Fire trying to walk away. Another round of Bramble mates. He actually gets out. All right.
No way from Norway. Getting out. Yeah, that was, I tried to find something. Wasn't quite it. Lanham's back there again. He's like, maybe this time, as Taiga makes the walk too far away from him to grab though.
Now, a lot of movement towards that mid as Boxy is going to take another couple punches, but still one stick charges and he's bringing in everything. So yeah, the courier was waiting off to the side for him.
That's the stressful one. If I had this courier, wouldn't have died. So he does manage to survive here.
Well, again, Quakeva forcing back Afu, and it looks like Bounty Runes will again be traded off.
Oh, that's
as Mickey making this move onto Flyby, still bringing him low, but not low enough to find the kill as of yet. The Edict doing a good chunk of damage there onto Mickey, but the bigger damage is now onto Lanham.
Well, he also didn't go for the bounty for this too.
Oh, another dodge away. Mickey making these plays.
Yeah, very good reads there. Unfortunately for him, the wave is pushing in, so they get the kill, but they won't get the bounty rune. Flyby will take that as a consolation prize and essentially trade Lanham's life for it.
5 minutes in so far, we've got 3 kills to 0. And Alliance feeling pretty good. I mean, we're going to have to watch and see. Monet just gets the blink back. Do you feel like either side has more pressure going on? Both of them have really good late game teams, it feels like.
I feel like this is just going to be a classic best of one. Maybe someone's going to take care of it in the first 20 or 30 minutes and really have a big lead. But to me, this looks like some game where everyone's going to be very timid, kind of play it back, and we're going the distance.
Going the distance. Well, Afu gets stunned. Boxy too, though, in a little bit of trouble and actually body blocked in. They get the disruption. And the banishment comes out. They find the kill. Too many stacks up there, Shadow Poison, and Void just played it a little bit too close.
Yeah, all this action happening here. Not a lot of time for stacks, unfortunately. For the Alliance side is one, of course, that we're going to care about because they have the Gyrocopter they're trying to get farmed up. And the Storm Spirit's always going to appreciate that, too. But Anti-Mage, he's getting great lane farm, much like that Gyrocopter, but of course you'll trade equal farm on an AM than compared to a Gyro, I believe, for that wonderful timing on the Battle Fury.
No, definitely. And then just stay off map, allow other people to make moves for yourself. As they are bringing in Lanham. If they manage to find a disruption, this would be a pretty nice kill setup with the split earth after the disruption. But right now, Alliance still playing underneath their tower, not moving too far forward, and it looks like Lanham will not be able to find a kill with that movement bottom.
Oh,
double bash.
Jeez, he went for the triple. I don't know about that one.
Guy needs to go to the casino. He's getting a couple of them there. So yeah, level 6 right now on Monet. Gonna head over to the side of the shrine, pop it there, heal back up, come back into the lane again. And this is, again, the centerpiece of this RNG draft. The anti-mage is gonna make it all work for them.
And he's gonna keep Quick on his toes throughout the entire match. Any Storm Sphere play, that int already up to 700 and, mana pool up to 760. So you know the Mana Void's gonna be rocking. The nuclear explosion that can blow up your whole team.
And one thing that we haven't really, again, touched on too much, mainly just saying that the lane is going to be a trade-off, is Gyrocopter right now sitting top of the last hits, also top of the net worth, almost 1,000 gold ahead of that anti-mage at this point in time in the game, and going for the early drums feels like what that panel was talking about is going to be the case, where he wants to get active very, very early on. So we'll have to watch for that. Mouse doesn't work again. Not great, but we'll see if Afu can get himself back under control here in a second.
It's all right. They got themselves some backups. You know, they're prepared. But so far, things relatively even. We're coming up on 8 minutes. It looks like room control. Quick is going to go for the bot. And RNG looking to secure that top rune off, who wants his mouse in tip-top shape, just in case someone wants to contest him there. Full bottle for Quickfa, so would love to have it, but not so much for the regen or anything, but simply so he can make a play. As you heard Blitz say, I want to see him get an early power rune. I want to see him go for a kill. I want to see him pressure the anti-mage. I mean, look where he is. He's approaching the lane, or the rune spot closest to the anti-mage. This is exactly the play that he wants to go for here. And they also should have the chrono very soon.
Yeah.
Not quite there, though, yeah. A little unfortunate, as they'd love to sync that up just to try and help ensure it.
I mean, we might even see Boxy just try and beat down this creep wave and then the next one that comes afterwards to get that level 6, if there's a good rune that shows up for Storm Spirit. Because obviously finding a kill on that AM at this early stage of the game would be top tier.
Yeah, he can just take his time with the rune, maybe go back to the jungle a little bit, wait. Once he sees that moment with the chrono, that is plenty of time to allow you to TP in. And frankly, they might just bring in the Gyrocopter too. The cooldown is on CD right now for another 35 seconds or so maybe he'll just chill and keep on farming. But cooldown, chrono, they go pretty well together.
Easy peasy. And we will have the restart now as well as we get back into this game. RNG versus Alliance. Will the dodge away from the stun a second time now, and Lanham just going to eat the dirt. Quickfa finds the kill with the Arcane Rune.
Okay, doesn't even need to pop it. Even better. And up top, Flyby has returned here. He just went all the way back to the fountain. It's currently holding the level 6, but it's going to put some harass onto Mickey, who is fresh out of regen, but Insania, of course, there to help him with the salve.
Well, and again, sort of this weird duality that we got going on in this game. Gyrocopter sitting top of the net worth, feeling like he's strong and in charge. Going to try and build up some of those quick fighting items, it looks like. And maybe they can try and hit this anti-mage before he really starts coming online.
Hey, even better than this, they'll just shrine right up there. So Insania is saying, all right, I think you're good. You head back up top. I'm going to peek mid a little bit, try and get the double stack off for you. And they're going to start trying to propel this storm. All right, we got the in-sync pulls coming out here. Mind you, while they're doing this, the rotation is coming up top with the smoked-up supports looking for that disruption in the Split Earth combo.
This could be the big moment right now.
Yeah. All stacks successful, though. They got that.
You got to be really careful about this rotation. Okay, level 7, but Insania's going to run into him.
On Setsu.
Now, well done here. So they're going to make sure that they don't find the turnaround kill. Although, actually, they're going to turn and see if they can take down Flyby. But this is not going to be a rotation that works out that well. Meanwhile, Quickfa from the low ground hitting onto them. Setsu's here as well. They're in rather deep, but they are going to be able to find the stun. And then the follow-up kill on Afu. So a trade-off of the 5 positions. That's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, even with the Arcane Rune, Quickfa knows he doesn't have enough to actually make something happen there. He's forced to retreat and go back to these camps, as you saw, like fully stacked up there. Very good stuff here for Quickfa. So he's got a little bit of an edge already on the Ember, but that's going to start to grow here.
Up top, yet again, they find the dive. Setsu going in, has the Aphotic Shield with the Flame Guard going simultaneously, and Boxy shows up, has the Chronosphere available. Does he want to drop it, though? He managed to land it just outside of range of Mickey.
What?
Boxy the player.
Oh, man. Mickey was like a pixel outside of that.
They find the stun, disruption to interrupt it, and now Flyby moving in a position, trying to see if they can save a life, but finds the bat afterwards. Boxy chasing forward for this one, gets the stun, the follow-up coming in from Koikva. He wants to kill him off, and in fact, they're going to be able to likely do it. Oh, the Brambles laid down again afterwards, and Lanham also under fire. 4 go dead. Alliance with the beautiful rotation.
Man, that first chrono is one that you usually don't even count on. You're just like, if I can kill the guy I'm laning against, that's a good chrono. It doesn't tend to be one that saves your position 1, because, you know, you're not playing... Look at the damage he did! This is an off-lane void! He just kept on bashing people. I mean, you can't ask for anything more at a Boxy in this one. He's done enough.
Absolutely. Well, and you can see now he's caught back up ahead of where the Abaddon was in spite of that laning stage, which went a little bit worse, but the big rotation comes in with that Chronosphere. Now, I will mention that the combination of the Flame Guard and the Aphotic Shield is something that we saw a while ago. Quite strong, is just in maximum survivability and capable of dishing out a ton of damage. Just means that this Ember can go super ham.
Yes, it is a lot of magic damage from Alliance, especially until like much later into the game. But at the same time, between the disruptions, the Flame Guard, the Aphotic Shield, there is still an opportunity for Alliance to be able to bring him down with these well-placed chronos from Boxy, but expect Setsu to have an extremely good match.
We see Insania there just throwing out a freezing field, because why not? The Gyrocopter was also helping to clear out the camps while all that was happening. So right now sitting at 4,500 net worth. The thing is, you've got to transition this into objectives afterwards for Alliance.
Yeah, despite all of what happened up top, right? I mean, they're the ones who have lost the Tier 1 tower. Their mid-tier one's being hit by Catapult there from RNG, though, so at least they got that going for themselves on Alliance, but they are still down a tower as Boxy tries to create space in the bottom lane.
Keeping that pressure on. Obviously, very maneuverable hero, capable of escaping if somebody comes down there to mess with him. And it does look like it's going to be Setsu that shows up. Boxy does have Chronosphere back off cooldown in a couple of seconds, but they would need a big rotation to make anything really worth it. And he's just going to back away.
Dance away.
Dance away,
Yeah, not just back.
How dare
I? Mickey is under vision here. You can see Afu just kind of leeching nearby, looking for a bit of free XP as he sees Alliance clearing things out here. But Insania, he's got 4 sentries, so you can say goodbye to this Observer. Very surprised if he were to miss this one, and there it goes.
Yeah, knowing exactly what was going on, Afu still wants to soak up some of that experience. Gets level 6 off of it, so we'll have access to his ultimate.
Oh, they've got the Purge, though, and they're still playing very aggressively with
down
this
bottom.
Abba.
They're looking for Setsu, and they're just going to go for the Chrono again. Well played by Boxy, as that one is just going to be a quick and easy kill. Oh, on to Setsu. No! The turnaround! Are you kidding me? He finds them both. Lanham! Oh, Lanham! The fear up top, they find a turn.
It costs, you can see Alliance at the same time in tandem movement. They start going for flyby, and Lana and Afu are just like, sorry, dude. We gotta hit the guy up down bottom. This is all Setsu. You're the Abba. Beautiful save coming out here, and we get essentially the reverse play now from RNG. Oh, saving Private Mickey and saving General Setsu.
God, we can only hope to be as good at Dota when we're as old as Lanham. Actually, we're probably older than him now I'm talking about that. But still, the veteran making it happen on the big stage in the best of 1. And Setsu just going to back out now after the Cursed Crown lands on him. God, you love to see that stuff.
Yeah, and we've kind of evened out here. I mean, kills, don't worry about kills. Early game kills, they mean pretty much nothing these days, guys. It does give you a slight XP lead, I will say that. That just went from like 4K to 2K now for Alliance. But aside from that, we get pretty even on the gold, and we have that Anti-Mage so close to his Battle Fury. But that's a lot of stacks.
Yeah.
Alliance are very good at this.
Alliance have been super solid about keeping these stacks up, and obviously great heroes to clear through them, to build up that advantage, and obviously also get those supports, the gold that they desperately need. So right now, 1,000 gold lead. And Monet still not quite at his Battle Fury. He's getting close to it.
Yeah, speaking of farm and stuff, Lenham has an Atos nearly complete. He's only 100 gold away. So trying to maybe catch Koikva off guard this early in the game, also helpful versus maybe this Dark Willow, just setting up for his own Split Earth, especially when we're skirmishing so much.
Throw out the missile at the start. Koikva's rooted over to the side and doesn't have a big enough mana pool to really join that fight if it were to happen. So yeah, they're going to back out. Well, again, a little bit of a lull as we get ready for the bounty runes. We'll see if there are any fights for them. As already The ABBA is set up on the top side. Boxy picks up one, Monet gets the other, and RNG going to get 3 out of 4.
Yeah, almost looked like Alliance were more so hopeful for the mid runes or something there, but I believe Setsu snagged one up too. So not a whole lot there at the 15-minute mark for the boys on the Dire side. But they're going to smoke up and try and make use of another Chrono, as well as take this tower. So we'll see if RNG get the correct read. It looks like Mane is long gone. The guy's already back at his own ancient area, now farming up. Stack, and again, just getting so close to that Battle Fury. Flyby going to keep pressuring into the top, so should be a pretty quick push here from Mickey. They're still deciding to keep everyone else hidden, but RNG, they've kind of figured it out.
But RNG, they're going to make that rotation bottom, it looks like.
Ooh, okay. Maybe Lanham really wants us with the Atos. And that's Taiga. Oh.
Breaks it, goes into the Shadow Realm, gets the Curse Crown off as well. Setsu in a little bit of trouble. Boxy could think about chasing for this one, but they're underneath a ward. Gotta be careful. They've already found Koikba. He's disrupted. Boxy needs to make the Coil perfect, and he does it! Yet again, the Terrorize comes out. Boxy making the plays with the Insane ulti on top of all of it. He ran into the root. Setsu under control, but do they have enough damage? Boxy turning now onto Setsu, tries to find a kill. Another round of the Sleight of Fist, and they have to back away. Trade off already, but now Mickey, the big bad boss, has shown up. Wants to run down Flyby, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get it. The big win in all of this, though, was Stormsphere able to escape.
I'm sorry, I'm a little confused. I thought RNG had the saving. I thought it was the ABBA and the disruption from the Shadow Demon that's supposed to keep your cores alive, because this purple guy over here seems to keep chronoing everyone to keep them up.
Unbelievable. Yeah, Boxy has been playing his heart out here, going for the early hood as well to keep staying alive that much longer. But yeah, a couple rounds of it, gets it just in time, and Storm Spirit able to escape.
Yeah, a bit of a difficult rotation there for RNG. They're moving in at nighttime. You saw their smoke popped, and then he wasn't able to get the first Atos onto the Dark Willow, but it worked out because then he helped lock down Koikba for this, and then Boxy. Take your time, RNG. I can watch this all day.
Very, very impressive showing. Yeah, and a couple of rounds there running into the brambles while it was all happening. Very impressive showing from Alliance, and most definitely Boxy there. And Mickey, you can see, just a little bit late to the party, but still making it work.
Yeah, yes, Boxy. You can just see it. Yeah.
Stuff.
Needed the big save there, but there was a lot of questions about what his build would be, right? On the Faceless Void. The last time we saw the hero, there was like Vlad's and sometimes Blink. Shadowblade was very popular. He's gone for the survivability and that hood first, and now he's thinking about a Manta because he has to deal with the root from the Ember, as well as that Atos now too, so quite a few good options for it. And then really, if you feel like this game's going along, which I have a feeling that they're probably thinking, you're going to get yourself the talents eventually for the mobility too.
All right, well, we do have some information. They're going to be swapping out that computer, but we do still have a lot of things that we can talk about in this match, because to me, at least, you look at this series so far, I mean, series, it's best of one, but Boxy
still a
making
series.
The plays. That's fair.
Counts.
Yeah, that's fair. Boxy making the big plays. I think that it's a little bit unique that Taiga hasn't been getting as much farm as we've seen on him previously. Sometimes this guy has just been like completely out of control. A little bit more quiet this time.
Yeah, he tends to have like 4, 5, 6 kills or something at this point. I think he's about 300 gold ahead of Insania, which, yeah, that is indeed incredibly rare, but I guess it comes down to the fact that they're just stacking, focusing super heavily on Koikba and Mickey right now, plus, Boxy needs a little bit more of this game. Boxy, maybe he can be more of like a 3.5 sort of a deal, like you get from like Zai and Yaps or in a lot of games. Not so much on Faceless Void, right? This is not a guy who's like, yeah, I can be budget. I just need level 6. No.
No. He needs to be able to make those plays, gain into that Manta style like we're talking about, and eventually be a damage dealer. Because that's the other nice part about picking these types of heroes, and particularly when your supports have a ton of team fight. Like Dark Willow, you were talking about it before TI that you felt like this was going to be the hero of the tournament.
Well,
not to throw
I have
you
a
on the spot or anything
theory.
like that.
Okay, I have a conspiracy theory. I think Crit stopped picking Dark Willow because he didn't want her to get nerfed.
Okay, that's fair enough.
That's my conspiracy theory, because I think this hero's still been super good and very versatile, like several months, but like half the year.
Yeah.
And then like she pops up at tournaments, teams look good with her, and they just stop. I don't know. Obviously they're kind of pro players. They got to figure it out for the most part. But yeah, I'm down for Alliance. It allows them to play very aggressively in all their lanes. Taiga is phenomenal on it. He always pushes it like right to the limit before he goes to the Shadow Realm. You have teamfight control and save by able to use the ultimate with the Fear, the Terrorize. And then you can also just like roam at level 6 and get kills.
Totally. It's incredibly impressive. And I think that Terrorize is probably one of those spells that I don't know if it's underrated if everybody talks about how good it is, but it still might somehow be underrated. Like how insane this spell is.
Yeah, it is a little ridiculous.
I would also like to say that for the anti-mage, this was a hero that I was wondering if it got to the point where people started picking it. Like if it fit the meta and what everybody wanted to do, it might just become insanely busted. Because to me, Counterspell just seems insane.
Counterspell is very good. We've seen it in several games versus the Sand King, who's been popping off a lot of this tournament, right? It's just like, oh, you can't burrow strike me, instantly I'm meta here. Pretty good. But this is more the traditional reasoning, right? It's a Storm Spirit.
Right.
It's almost as simple as that, right? I mean, he fits the game for a lot of other reasons, but you can essentially win the whole team fight, if not the game yourself, by blowing up this guy who's so crucial to the enemy team's plans, and you got that like one button press.
That's
true.
true.
Again, at the perfect moment.
Well, when you had said, when we were watching the draft while the draft panel was going on, you were like, I can't believe AM's not banned.
Yeah.
As the crowd is getting into the moment as well a little bit here. I'm sure they're just saying, Loda, Loda. But yeah, I mean, is it really just as much of the case that like against the Storm Spirit, or is there other reasons that hero fits really well here?
It was a game that it kind of looked like it was going a little bit long, right?
Yeah.
They didn't have the best lockdown, aside from the Chrono. Of course, Chrono's very good. At the same time, have save. You know, put some faith in your draft, right? They have the Chrono, and you can't just be like, oh, let's draft all this save for the Chrono, and then be super concerned about the Chrono. No, you got to say, okay, we solved the Chrono. Let's not worry about it. We'll pick ourselves an anti-mage. We'll win some Dota too. It'll be fine.
I can dig it.
That's. I think that's what Loda said to them previously. He was like, "Yo, guys, come on. You know how to. You know this. It's Dota, right? Get in there." This is a unique situation though, because it's not often that you get this time, right? Dota, we all play.
Yeah,
we all know that after a pause, things get weird.
They really do. I think that probably the biggest thing is just if it was like in the middle of a team fight. Thankfully, that's not the case at this one.
Yes, of course.
But the thing that I'm going to really be watching for also is like the panel was talking about needing to get things done with this gyrocopter. Be aggressive. Get in there and fight. He has the items to do that. Almost completed the BKB2. Not to get too much into the Dota before we get to watch it again, but like, is that still the plan? Do you think that you need to just make stuff happen before AM gets online? Take down all the towers?
Yes and no. I think they have a direction-based hero right now in the Faceless Void, and I think every time that Chrono is up, they should be looking to essentially play aggressively and try and find something there. They definitely do want to be squeezing in, right? I mean, AIM's just starting to kick things in motion there with the Battle Fury.
Right.
So before he has the Manta, before he has the Batch, before he has the Butterfly and everything, you of course would love to be pressuring into his team. You want to be taking apart his part of the map and trying to slow down his farm.
You know what's so bizarre? I can still hear the chat wheel lines over the audio, which is pretty great because even in this moment, and I do believe that we're going to be hopping back into that game.
Oh,
the players are
if you
having
insist.
joy. They're having a little bit of levity as well as we get into this. Wonderful. So 16 and a half minutes in, 5 to 12, 1,000 gold lead. And again, just to reorient everybody into what happened, there was a very big fight. Boxy was able to save the Storm Spirit with a Chronosphere, and now we're waiting again for that spell to be back up as Setsu's pushing up this top lane.
And we're just about into the Battle Fury. About 300 gold or so here now from Monet. So things looking kind of according to plan for both teams. We're essentially just waiting on that next Chrono before you're likely to see Alliance do all too much. And meanwhile, Flyby, he's looking to push things a little bit here. Whoa, Dota Plus.
This is what I love about Flyby, and also just Abaddon in general. You're willing to run up there. If you happen to get caught out a little bit, you just got this natural escape mechanism, robotic shield if you get rooted, you got your borrow time if you get caught somewhere. It's a nice, less stressful hero to play in these stressful times of the lower bracket best of ones.
I mean, he's fishing for a big one here. Really baiting. Chucking some chum in the water because he's got a couple of chums in the trees next to him. Afu and Alana looking for the setup for the kill, but no one's biting.
Ever since you had
it's a rough
kid,
day.
You've done way more dad jokes.
It came in the mail, actually, the very next day. It was incredible.
All right, Battle Fury done, 18 minutes. A little bit on the later side, but he also went for a lot of those smaller items beforehand. And Lanham scouting out Taiga here. He's underneath a ward, and there's the reveal of the Eidos Splitter. Afterwards, chase down. Can they get the kill? I think that the answer is yes. One more hit. There it is.
That Edict is just brutal versus the Dark Willow.
Chase down. Can they get the kill? I think that the answer is yes. One more hit there. That EX is just brutal versus the Dark Willow. Chase down. Can we get the kill?
It's my turn to show Alliance why stacking is good. And Shadow Team, one of the best in getting those multiple camps at once. He needs this guy to catch up to this gyrocopter and accelerate way past him.
And he has a lot of time to do it still, as there is still 2 tier 1 towers remaining for Royal Never Give Up, the mid as well as up top, which makes the map control for RNG that much more
Quakefa is going for a little play down here. He's been camping by the wave, hanging out, but Lonum's coming in here too, so just has to be a bit cautious. I think he was just revealed there, so Quakefa might want to get out of here. No, he's good.
Well, in the meantime, they also take down the wards, so a little bit of extra vision and security blanket there.
Meanwhile, Monet and Boxy are just lasting and denying in front of each other.
Oh, they have the rotations coming in though. Gotta be careful. Storm Spirit there, as well as the CM gets the Chronosphere, has to zip to the other side. Quakefa able to catch Monet. It is gonna be able to get the kill. Not there in time. They get the kill.
Did he just run over and bash him?
I think that he did. Boxy Dota, man.
All right, well, kill was secured. A bit risky there. I wasn't sure if they were able to finish off Monet. But yeah, he is really feeling it today. At the same time, in the mid lane, Nicky does get a tower, but there's a couple of scary heroes here. Gonna pop that.
Random, you gotta run, my man, as the chase down comes, the BKB reveal. Are they gonna be there in time? No. Flyby shows up, and now Mickey is BKB wearing off. He's in a little bit of trouble. He's rooted, he's caught, but Quakefa shows up. The splitters land as soon as they come in. Land him with the double kill.
Had some vision of him coming too, maybe helping a little bit there, but Lanham, big necessary turnaround after leaving or losing your anti-mage. He has really been doing a lot here. 4, 4, and 3. He's been involved in a couple of the deaths, but also 7 of the 8 kills. And when you go Atos Leshrac, you better be getting involved here. And he is the push. He's probably the best pusher in this entire game. And we'll help secure that mid tower there with the final hit. Going for a mech for the team too. Man, he is farmed.
He has had a fabulous game so far. As another round comes out, looks like Taiga's going to be able to escape. Setsu couldn't get any way to interrupt that one. So a nice little getaway there. But yeah, the slow, steady farm of Monet continues to grow. Likewise, the gyrocopter staying ahead. This is something that's probably going to start to fall off as time goes on.
Well, especially, yeah, when they both die like that, it's just, we just stall for a second, but of course, yeah, unless they keep the stacks up like crazy, Monet is likely to start accelerating a little bit faster. The only thing that might slow down Monet is the fact that he has an Ember on his team, who is someone that can also be on these side lanes at the same time. So maybe you're not getting as much of that, like, one true carry on your team as you often do in anti-mage games.
Yeah, and on the
smoked up down bottom. They want Setsu.
This is a hard kill to get, though. Taiga moves in. They pull him back into the Bramble Maze, terrorize afterward, and that's more than enough damage as Alliance find the pickoff on the Setsu. And again, the thing that's tough about that is Setsu's going for this build, which is very defensive by nature. Yule Scepter drums, and he's still dying.
Yeah, that's not good. If you're going for that, you can't be going down. You need those remnants placed back. Have to be thinking defensively, but not quick enough on that one. I mean, that looked like Quakefa had an Orchid already.
Yeah.
To be able to get that.
Well, very impressive pickoff there by Alliance. And need to find some answers now for Royal Never Give Up. Feels like the main answer. Ooh, that's a juicy stack. My goodness.
Okay, well, that's one way to keep your gyro in contention here for the top.
Look at this guy. This is going to be a lot of gold. So let's see, 11,400 when he starts it all. We'll see what he ends at. If he can even end it in this round.
I was going to say, it's going to take a little bit of time here. The guy went BKB first, but it's okay. Yeah. He's heading back to the butterfly after.
On the other side of the map, it looks like there's going to be a smoke up coming from Royal Never Give Up. A lot of the gyro spells will be on cooldown.
Yeah, he is not going to be available unless he like pops the Shrine of TV stop.
Oh, Boxy needs to jump, gets away for the moment, and not able to find there with the slight chain. Setsu wants to get Insania, but Boxy's already away. If they get this kill on CM, I think that they're more than happy with the space created as Insania walking and finding the kill.
Man, they were really close to getting Boxy. The Shadow Poison almost caught him in the tree line there.
Oh, Boxy actually still in the jungle. And they're thinking about chasing this guy. Does have Time Walk available.
Yeah, the follow-up's a little difficult for them, though.
So another tower taken by RNG as they clear off that other tier 2 tower.
Oh, I'm a bit worried for Alliance, I have to say. I think that RNG have a bit of a window here. The one big option for them is definitely Koikfa, no doubt. He just finished the Orchid, right? So he's 7-2-1. He wants to keep playing aggressively. He wants to try and focus on someone who can't really help themselves, like the Shadow Demon or the Leshrac. Pick them off instantaneously, create a good fight out of that.
But the thing that we have to keep in mind is that Manta Style just completed as the Orchid is done. Setsu has a Yule Scepter as well, so Koikfa gonna go for the zip TP away play.
And I'm worried, right? Because I think that's his game until he has BKB.
Right.
It is very worrisome.
And there are some other heroes across the map, but Lennon could even go for a Guardian Greaves if you wanted to in this game, just to have that Dispel for the Orchid.
Yeah, I think he's going to.
Because right
definitely the play, yeah.
He's just that sort of big pot of, oh, jump forward, silence, pull back in. This is going to be an ulti popped afterwards for Flyby, as he's going to get it caught down there, and now the rundown happens after the fact. Flyby in some trouble and is going to hit the ground.
Good grab there for Alliance. It takes a lot to get him. You know, he's trying to play aggressively and try and scout things out there, but that will end up just being a bit of free gold over to the side of Alliance and helping Koikfa get towards that BKB, which he so desperately needs.
Smoke up coming now as we get close to the bounty runes. They have an inkling that Monet might be in the area. Oh god, if he blinks aggressively right now, they already have it on him. The chase down coming, but the pull, good counter spell. And that's going to keep Monet from being in too much trouble, and also going to throw the missile back at him, because why not? Are they going to try and go for something when this missile hits?
I think they were hoping to just be set up for the defensive play. Oh, there we go.
Root that jump forward, he gets him!
All right, there it is. You always get at least one. That is for sure. Mickey playing it ultra safe with the BKB while he's on the run here, but it's actually running low.
And it's going to be a Yule Scepter lift up afterwards. Can they get bodies here to defend Mickey? It's not looking like it so far. Another round of the Mrs. Force Staff, keeping him alive for now. Insania, he's got to protect his carry, but it's not going to happen in time. Can they do it? Mickey's going to go down, and they're going to take down the CM as well. RNG get free. Can they get anything else in turn for this? The fear is there.
Oh, this is a tight chrono if he wants the Bedlam damage.
Oh, he's got to get it in time, but it's really hard. The bash comes through as well. Time dilation, but Taiga not able to get into range for any of the damage. The disruption is there afterwards. Monet facing forward. Boxy has to jump away, and they can't get anything even with the chrono.
Needed to take their lumps on that one, I think. Trying to go for the return save. Maybe didn't have a full read of the situation, wasn't aware there were still so many supports in the area. We know they have so many saves for the chrono. You need the full team to make it useful. And what you've done to your team now is you've just put 130 seconds of, yeah, we don't really want to fight.
And as we were talking about, actually as the draft panel was talking about, Blitz was saying that one free kill, you can't afford to give it away to the anti-mage.
I mean, they gave one on the Storm and then one on the Gyro right after. I mean, that's rough for Mickey because he was basically playing it as safe as he could, but he popped it a little bit too early, and they're willing to go right to the steps of your base for the kills.
And showing again the strength of these teams and a little bit of worry on the face of the young Alliance players. So we get back into the live game right now. Need to find some.
Up to the butterfly at the very least, though, right? So trying to stay alive versus Anti-Mage, but he does have the Basher fully finished. So he's going to be double luck there, right? First I got to hit him, then I got to bash him. But just a single, one touch can so easily set up for Lon of Setsu to follow up there. And even, I mean, the Shadow even Afu, right? I mean, this guy's up to level 12.
Yeah.
Damage starts coming through there with the Purge.
Well, and it's such a scary thing, too, because for RNG, there's a lot of very easy save. For Alliance, it's kind of a little bit more of a skill game. You have to hit like a crazy chrono that just barely keeps your carry off of the edge of it, or you have to get a Terrorize, which has a little bit of that build-up cast point on it. Neither of which is quite as good. Boxy actually going to try and play a little bit of mind games here with RNG, but they're not falling for it. On the other side of the map completely. In the meantime, though, Koikfa doing what he can for his team, cutting waves.
Yeah, and they're still sticking around to that top one there. Setsu does make his appearance here as well. Perhaps thinking to his team, like, what do you guys think? Can we do this? But some lingering vision from Alliance to spot that Afu's rotating over, so they should have an idea of what's going on. They do have Chrono, though.
And a Shadow Blade on Void to boot.
Yeah.
Okay. Looking for it. The Atos is there. Split Earth afterwards. Taiga up on the high ground. Throws out the Curse Crown.
Jeez, they had no idea how alone he was there for a moment, right? I mean, they can't see. They think that Boxy's surely right here. He could be in the tree line to our left. You never know. But he was falling back a little bit there just for Shadow Blade. Now he's falling all the way back down to the bottom lane. Gonna try and push things out here. Don't see their moment yet. He's gonna Shadow Blade in, but he needs more friends than this. And Koikva, he's got an Arcane Rune. He might make the big long zip, but no. Mane's out of there.
Smelling the potential gank coming his way and able to back out of there in time.
This is a tough part of the game for Boxy though, right? He just got the Shadow Blade. He wants to make plays, but he has to stay off the map, but he also wants to keep farming.
Oh, and they realize that Mickey is over in the area here. He might have an inkling that they're nearby as well. BKB still available, as Setsu gonna try and chase him down, but will not be able to find the pesky gyrocopter, who is becoming a larger and larger physical damage problem for RNG. And Boxy gonna look forward for it, finds Flyby, chasing forward. Do they find an opening? Doesn't look like it. Don't want to use that Chronosphere on just the Abaddon. Although I feel like it's getting close to the point where just because of the damage that Lenem does, you might be willing to drop it on him, +1.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I mean, you're also at the point now where the Aetherland's going to be finished. I think it is actually finished. No, not quite yet for Afu, but once you get there, right, you almost feel like you have to Chrono the Shadow Demon, or it's pointless. So he's more likely to be that +1 person. Boxy guarding the bounty rune with the Shadow Blade.
Oh my goodness. Not really afraid. Oh, jump forward, finds the Chronosphere. It's immediately there onto both of them. One of the save and one of the damage. Can they kill off this Abba though? Borrow Time's gonna come out. Now the walk away. The chase forward coming. Koikva, good disruption. Gonna keep him alive for now, but Flyby also in trouble. Eul Scepter lift up. The Terrorize afterwards. They hit it Nova. Monet able to dodge away from it. They didn't quite get it in time. Koikva still chasing for more. Has to be careful about the Anti-Mage jump forward and finding that Mana Void. It looks like that's gonna be the end of the battle.
Another root onto him, but yeah, with the cooldown should be fine. Jeez, putting the faith in the team there. Koikva diving deep. Hit the Invis rune, so a little bit of protection to try and guard himself against the big Mana Void. And those 2 kills, that is going to get Alliance into the pit here and feeling confident. They don't have the Chrono, but RNG, they don't really see the possibility to fight it. And this is something that they needed so desperately. Again, Blitz the Prophet there. Get themselves an Aegis, and maybe this game can go a little bit better for Alliance. It's going to be both the gold as well as the protection of the BKB for Koikva. They give it to Mickey though.
Interesting.
Koikva's saying, I'm getting my BKB.
Okay.
We need you.
Triple remnant forward.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Trying to force out a BKB there. Kind of interesting, the Faceless Void going all left side talent, so the survivability one's not even worried about any of the damage. At this point in time in the game, he's mainly that Chronosphere walking.
I mean, that's what he's been picked for too, right?
Yeah. A little bit of time dilation thrown in there, because why not? It's a fun spell. So 31 minutes in, still 1,000 gold lead, and Trent, as you talked about, very much going the distance is the feel of this game.
I love best of ones like this. This is
so
what
good.
you need, right? I don't want some over and done with sort of deal. I want both teams to, I don't need a no rush 20 minutes sort of a deal, which is kind of what we have, where everyone's just getting their items and getting to play their heroes, and who knows who's gonna win. But it is a lot of fun getting to see heroes played at their full potential, right? And seeing the tense moments of these team fights. I mean, how many times have we seen Mickey's face now, where he just looks like so worried on these player cams? That's what I want, You gotta enjoy this. Painfully, but pain comes the big glory of victory.
Oh yeah. Ooh, and Silver Edge is going to be the pickup for the Void afterwards. So if you can manage to get the break onto the Abba and also silence him, then you've got the ability to kill him without ulti going off.
Of course, the AM also would be lovely, but Silver Edge is kind of a weird item for me too, because how often are you going to be able to actually make use of it? But you got to upgrade the slot anyway, right?
Yeah.
Gives a 6-second better cooldown.
So other thing to keep our eyes on here with the BKB done for Koikva, he's still going to have to worry about that Abyssal Blade that's coming out on the Anti-Mage and is completed at this point in time. So Monet,
he's always one ahead.
Yeah.
Right? Every time Koikva's like, okay, I figured it out. He's like, oh, now I've got Abyss.
He's going to be in one ahead, jump forward, trying to find it. The Chronosphere, is it going to land? Can they get it in time? He's going to be able to find it back, and then jump forward for the kill. They blow up the Faceless Void, no buyback. They can't get back into this fight. They need to escape. Alliance need to run. Mickey gonna throw out that missile, take it down immediately. Setsu finds the root onto both of them. They're keeping Lenem out of this fight, but Mickey gonna pop the BKB. He decides he needs to fight right now, and the fear comes out, able to dodge away from it though. Setsu lives through it. Koikfa trying to turn onto this Ember. Can they kill him off in time though? It's not looking like it's gonna happen, and Monet is in the fight as well. They find Mickey, and they kill him off through that Aegis. Round 2 in just a second, and I think that this is going to be another death for the Gyrocopter RNG. Can they do it? Yes, indeedy duty. They came to play. One more because it's going in the books. Taiga goes down as well.
The chase is just absurd once you the Aghanim Scepter onto the Ember Spirit, as well as the survivability. So hard to bring him down, even those moments where it looks so good. Now pushing towards high ground.
I mean, look at the situation. They don't have buyback on these cores. They do have Chronosphere once they're all up and online, but at this point in time, it's so tough. Good Shadow Realm away, saving a life for a moment. Stun is on the illusion, so they don't need to be that worried about it. With Chrono back up again, it feels like this is at the very least one set of racks, but can they go for another?
They do have the Chrono, but they also don't have the most damage. Feels like a safe best of 1 decision will be to back. Let's see what RNG think.
Now Boxy walks in. No! He gets caught! He gets the missile! Boxy trying to run away. That's so scary right now for Alliance. They have to get out with everybody else. Woo! And the jump coming in, long range, but does not want to fully commit on that one. So Alliance do go down a set of racks, and RNG going to take full advantage by trying to clear off these shrines.
Yeah, I like the immediate move for the shrine too. They're not showing any fear because they know if the gyro is still down. Alliance, they don't want to take this fight. If they're not taking on their high ground, they're not coming right now until Mickey is going to be returned to us. So get that shrine and make sure that we've secured ourselves the best possible positioning for that next Roche.
35 minutes, bounty runes to be picked up now as well. And the butterfly completed for Monet.
The guy's almost level 25 as well.
Oh man, that opens up a whole new avenue of pain when you bring down that Mana Void cooldown by 50 seconds.
I hope not, but maybe.
Maybe. Turn back around, the pull coming through, flyby. Going to be caught here, but needs to be careful. Help is coming through. Flyby trying to walk away, stunned for the moment. Chase forward for more. Boxy pops the Manta, looking for that Chronosphere, but doesn't drop it yet. He has to use it on Monet. He can't afford to.
He doesn't know where.
Flyby, he's going to go down, as it looks like they have finally caught him out. So Alliance pick up a key kill there in the ABBA.
That couldn't quite get the grab onto Setsu. And what a timing to do this as well from Alliance. This is huge. This is getting them map presence and control as we're heading towards that Roche. It's still going to be 3 minutes away before the possibility of the spawn, but I mean, this is wards right now. Yeah. This is something you have to take advantage of if you're one of these supports. Unfortunately, I don't think they have any with them. So finally getting in here and not going to be able to leave anything behind. Their one observer they planted is on top of a sentry in the river.
Scary stuff. Boxy jumping forward, wants to find that Chrono, but he gets caught. Is it going to be good? Landem going to go down without having to use the Chrono, it looks like, but the disruption comes. And it looks like the chase away. They're fine for the moment. Boxy backs out, able to escape. Monet's crazy. Jumps into the middle of it. Now he's caught. Monet, what have you done? They don't have the ability to save either. They've got him caught. Can they kill him off in time? It's so much damage coming out, and he is going to go down. No buyback for the anti-mage. Flyby also caught. Alliance, they have to go right now. The buyback comes from the Shadow Demon, and they're trying to see if they can keep this pressure going. Dual Scepter lift up. Are they going to be able to find Setsu here? The root, it lands. Immediately taken off with the Lotus Orb. Still getting the chase away. And Boxy trying to find himself a little bit more. Jump forward coming from Koikfa. Able to find that kill as well. Buyback coming from the Ledge. This is huge for Alliance. Soul Catcher. Can they kill these heroes off? Are Alliance going to go in fully for this tier 3?
They got to temper themselves here. They're way out of resources. Storm's got nothing left in the tank. He needs some runes. Everyone back and push the lanes. They got a huge win. I can't believe he took the Mana Void cooldown. I really thought he was going to take the magic resistance. It's like all magic this game.
All right.
He really wants to get Koikfa, but they got him.
And look at the swing. 5,700 gold, 9,000 experience. This game has just blown completely wide open. I mean, honestly.
Tiger's about to be level 20 as well. Everything's starting to stack up. He might get the Bramble cooldown. Pretty much everyone does. That gets pretty ridiculous. And yeah, he does instantly. Don't even have time to see it pop up there. There we go.
You look at that swing back. Yeah, it was a significant lead for RNG, and now back into the favor, almost there, of Alliance. They're getting closer and closer.
I mean, they're still down to racks.
Yes.
So RNG,
oh my God, look at that graph.
They gotta relax. All right, think about it. Listen, we saw very good heroes. We have good matchups here. We're not far behind really, but you can see that it's not just like whatever the swing is in the team fight, right? That's not actually the true goal, because what ends up happening is that Animage just died for 70 seconds, which means he wasn't touching lanes. So you're getting control over to Alliance. He's not touching any camps. He's not gaining any gold. So you get way more out of it than what you see in a team fight recap.
Well, Monet probably going to be a little bit more trepidatious with his jumps forward, as they did catch him.
He managed to find himself like the only place he couldn't be saved. And Afu going to try and keep himself a little bit closer to his boy now.
And Boxy to be able to get that Chronos.
They are really close though. I mean, that's a little nerve-wracking.
Boxy, he's right nearby. Got to be careful. Chronos up.
And they have an Observer Sentry combo here in the mid lane.
Yeah, so they realize that Boxy is there in Biz, and they're going to play it safe now. Back out afterwards. But yeah, the ability to get that Chronosphere off without catching any of his teammates either.
And putting it so far back behind Monet too, right? That's always a good sign of a quality Void player, is that they're putting their opponent right on the peak edges to help protect against those heroes they're trying to save. Of course, the Universe Classic.
MKB coming out for Gyrocopter after the Satanic. I mean, he's getting big. He's getting real big. Alliance getting the items that they need. And there always is this factor that comes about with anti-mage drafts sometimes where he eventually does top out. How close do you think we're getting to that point where it's starting to become more difficult for him every minute?
He's got room to grow, right?
He's got
a Wraith Band in there. Be working with his mages and stuff. I mean, Gyro as well, as you're saying, it's kind of reaching that same point too, but I'm looking beyond those two because, you know, those guys are the story of the whole game. So the question is, what is everyone else in your team doing? How are they growing from there? And to me, I'm looking at how, like, Taiga can just have such a big impact in these team fights now, right? Like, one Terrorize catching out someone who didn't pop their BKB or someone who doesn't have one yet still, like Setsu, because he is saving buyback, perhaps after seeing what happened to Monet, to ensure his team. And there we go. So does he have enough for the buyback? No, he doesn't, actually. So he's got 350 gold.
That's 100 gold away. He'll be there.
All right, he got some more. We'll be fine.
But getting ready for that next Roche fight, and as you can see on that timer, about a minute away before it will respawn.
I see Boxy's opted back for the BKB in his quick buy. I'm very curious. He was looking at Lincoln's after he got abyssal twice. But there we go. He buys out now.
Oh my goodness.
On the Faceless Void, all or nothing on this next team fight. Buybacks for the Dire. It is only Koikba, and no one is particularly close. Maybe Insania is going to have one. So if we get a Roche engagement, Alliance aren't coming back. They don't have the Shrine though, right? So they know that they can't be there in time. It's more likely you're going to be valuable with this BKB rather than your buyback because it's going to take you forever to get back into this fight.
Separated a little bit, but Monet is on the low ground. And do they decide to go for it?
Oh god.
Yeah, you got to get out of there.
There's no friends for the damage. It's who you want, but you won't be able to bring them down. You can't see the saving graces afterwards, so pick your right moment, Alliance. You might only get one.
So 41 minutes in, and Roche has respawned. Round 2 for this one, so Cheese will be there as well. And with a 2,000 gold lead, but no Shrine, it does feel like RNG is going to be the team that will be more favored in this. And as you mentioned, Alliance trying to make up for that by getting those valuable items early and often. Now, Alliance, they're actually just walking in. And Lenham sees this. Boxy is nearby. Oh, Monet.
That was instant.
They have the missile. They know Boxy jumps forward, gets the catch on both of them. That's the save hero, but no, the disruption, the secondary save is there afterwards. They have the long duration Terrorize, jumping forward, trying to find the kill. Can they bring him down in time? The pullback comes, and they bring him down. Buyback comes from Monet, though. They gotta be careful.
They're out of everything.
Gotta run, gotta hide, gotta see if they can escape, but it won't happen for at least the Dark Willow, and looking like Insania is also in the grave. As RNG take control of this map with the buyback coming from Monet.
The ultimate counter to
they found him! The missile blade, they got him caught, he's out of mana! Gyrocopter in trouble, Boxy able to escape, but maybe not so lucky for Mickey. He's trying to get out of here. Satanic has already popped, everything has already been used. Koikba trying to buy some space for his carry. Is it gonna happen? He's not getting out of there either!
Woo! Setsu!
And RNG feeling the moment coming around them. It's only the Storm Spear and the Void. They're going straight for the tier 4 towers. Boxy does not have anything left in the tank. They have to make miracles happen. They want to keep their TI run alive, but it's looking like RNG are going to be able to do it as they run for the tier 4 towers and making this crowd happy. Crystal Maiden is back up again, but they need everything and a little bit more. Alliance still trying to hold on, but RNG, GG is going to be called as they take it.
43 minutes into the game, we have ourselves a match where both sides really, they had their chance, right? They had their game plans, things started to come online. Obviously, the disappointment here for Alliance, but you have to be proud as to how far you've made it in this tournament. It's brutal. It's the best Dota teams of the year, but RNG proved that they want more.
They do. Well, and as you said, it's always, you know, the highs and the lows, no matter what in this tournament. It's really the story of human nature, if you will. It's at this point, somebody has to lose, and today it was Alliance's turn. But still a lot of things to be proud of for Alliance, and RNG going to get the love of the crowd here.
RNG is a team who a lot of people were quite scared of. We heard players talking about scrims, maybe just like, these guys are good.
Absolutely.
They tend to keep winning things. So expected to go further, perhaps, in the first round of the lower bracket. And they say yes. Never give up.
Never give up, indeed. And as we mentioned, Alliance going to be knocked out at this point in time, but a lot to be proud of in there as we get ready to continue on in the best of ones here in the lower bracket. Gonna head back to the desk.
Heartbreak has begun here at TI as we head into those best of one eliminations. Alliance are now out. Gentlemen, just looking at the end of that game, I mean, these two teams, it's just, you got to feel for them, right? Both of them worked so hard to get here.
Yeah, that was disheartening to see the end of that one, right? Because it looked like Alliance, like back and forth fights, and then it just blows up in their faces immediately. And one little mistake, team fight. They even forced the anti-mage buyback. We're sitting here like, we're like, get back, Alliance! Come on, guys, get back! You got this! And then they just can't. They can't actually be able to back up away from it. They got chased.
All right, and with that, we're gonna head on. There's plenty more best of ones to go, and we have another panel to talk to.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. For me, this is obviously the first TI I've gotten to be to, and before, even while the game was going on, kind of joking around, relatively light feeling, just enjoying the fact that we're here in Shanghai. But the second that loss comes in, the first best of one, and you actually see a team go home from the main stage, it really does kind of take the wind out of you. You really do get a feel for how that goes, especially with the momentum they're able to pick up throughout the year on the side of Alliance, and also even within that game.
Yeah, for sure. It just felt like Alliance, they had that one chance, they had the big team fight, but you blow all those cooldowns, you do all that, and RNG, I mean, they're just AM. They're just running at you. They have LAN M played like a god early game. He carried them pretty much throughout the first 20 minutes, and I mean, RNG just looked like the better team.
Yeah, and now we're going to take a look at the bracket and actually see where everybody will sit. And this bracket really starting to come along. We've sent 3 teams home now. We got 3 more best of ones as well. 3 Illuminati. But taking a look, it's going to be Fnatic versus Liquid coming up next.
That was some quick maths.
Come along, we've sent 3 teams home now. We got 3 more best of ones as well. 3. Yeah, I don't have Nahaz on this panel, so I got to pick up the slack a little bit. But it really is, especially when we look at this next best of one. Like, are you kidding me? Look at this matchup. This is so crazy to kick off the day. I do want to say one more time before we talk about the feat that RNG was able to pull off. Shout out to Alliance and everything that they accomplished. I mean, for this org, this is the first time that they've gotten to play on that TI stage since we had that original 5. Yeah. It's been a long road for them. Even in my time in Dota, which is back in January where it really started, I've seen this team grow, right? Yeah. So this is definitely a team that we want to give some props to. But let's talk about RNG. Obviously, they have the fans behind them. It's been a rough road so far for EU in this tournament, but you look at China, they got a lot of wind in their sails.
Oh, for sure. I just, looking forward, I just can't help but feel for Alliance. Like, I've known these guys for 5-6 years. They worked so hard to get here. They beat Gambit in that epic series at Epicenter just to make it through the direct invitation. They had an incredible tough time playing in Europe when they were, so many juggernauts keeping them out of these tournaments. And I just hope they hold their heads up high, because really this was a great year for them. It's a shame that there'll always be an asterisk, but
there's always that heartbreak, but also we do have to look at the bright side of this. We're going to see RNG moving forward, and luckily we're going to get to hear some words from them. We got Casey down on the floor.
Lanham here, congratulations. One of the first things that I heard was when you left the pods, the crowd went wild. You are obviously a god in the Dota community. Can you just describe what that feels like to be able to play in front of your home crowd and to be able to hear their love for you?
首先，恭喜获得比赛的胜利。刚刚你出比赛房的时候，全场欢呼，所以你是他们的大神。作为他们的大神，在自己的本场打比赛，有什么感想？
大神谈不上吧，就是打得比较久，然后就认识人比较多嘛，就这样。然后在主场打比赛还是就是能得到现场观众的支持，然后相反的就是你也会就是很不想输掉这场比赛，就是这样。
Well, I wouldn't call myself a god. It's just that I played a long time, so I know a few people. Playing in the home field, I definitely get a lot of support, but it also makes me not want to lose the game.
I also think what's so interesting is we now have veteran Dota players who have been around a long time, and there's a mutual respect. So you were playing against Alliance, which as a team has been around a long time. Loda is their coach and won TI3 with them. Can you talk a little bit about how that is a good representation, perhaps, of the Dota community all coming together for TI and what that means?
其实我们就是这个比赛，这个 Dota 圈有很多老将，然后互相之间也有很多的尊重。你的对手 Alliance 是有 Loda 做教练，但是他为了这队伍在 TI3 获得了冠军。能不能跟我们说一下，这是什么样的好例子？作为整个 Dota 圈为了 TI 而来到聚在一起。
我觉得就是其实我们这些打得比较久的选手都互相就是之间都很尊重的，就是因为比较熟嘛，我们见面都会有打招呼啊、鞠躬啊这些，就是比较亲近的礼仪。其实这我觉得是一个怎么说呢？大家打得久了，虽然都经常当对手，但是也慢慢变成朋友了。我觉得就有点每次打到 TI 的时候，就有点老朋友聚会的感觉，就这样。
For us veteran players, since we've played together for so long, it feels like we're friends. And every TI we get together, we'll greet each other. And even though we've been opponents for a very long time, it makes me feel like we've become friends. So every TI is kind of like a gathering of old friends.
Well, congratulations, and we can't wait to see you guys play again tomorrow versus VP. And again, this is why TI is so exciting. You come in from the China qualifiers. Last time we had a team come in from a qualifier, they ended up TI champion in OG. So it can happen. I don't know if you want to translate all that. Maybe just paraphrase. Sorry.
就你明天会对战 VP， 他 Casey 也想表示，因为 TI 就是那么有魅力。上一次海选打进 TI 的队伍赢了 TI， 所以你们还是有很大的机会。
这个就你只要不放弃，然后就是你不断的进步自己，一切是都有可能的。
As long as you don't give up and you improve yourself, everything is possible.
Thank you so much. Shay, we really appreciate it. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much for that. And you hear a big theme is going to be respect. The people that we're going to check in on right now, we obviously have a lot of respect for. We got Cheever and Insania.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rich. Insania, you said you had a story for me.
Yeah, so while we were drafting, when it came to the last ban, and the reason that we didn't ban anything was the same second that I think the timer ran out, I clicked ban gyro, and we ended up picking it instead. And I don't know if there's footage from the booth, but you could see on our faces, or mine especially, like I was so surprised when the gyro icon popped up as our pick. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of the story. It sucks to go out in a best of one this way. I feel like we played pretty well in moments, but we definitely had no idea what the hell we were doing at other times. So that kind of showed, I guess.
Now, none of us have any idea what it's like being in a situation that you're in right now. Could you give us a glimpse of what's going through your mind at the moment?
It's very blank, but I mean, most of all, it's kind of like this. You feel very shitty, especially me, towards my other 4 teammates for what happens with the draft, because like we do it kind of together a bit, but I'm the one clicking the buttons. So when that goes wrong, I feel like it's a lot on me. So yeah, no, I mostly feel like I let my team down and all of our fans down. You know, we do this for them and they help us. Yeah, so I'm sorry.
This was your first TI, and I'm sure it will not be your last. I think even along the way, this entire year, you guys have made so many new fans. And I know you just apologized to them, but they have been cheering for you. And I think that they will continue cheering for you as well. Do you have anything else to say to them right now?
I'm sorry. I just, hopefully next season we can, you know, live up to your expectations and do what you guys always support us and make us believe that we can accomplish. Yeah.
All right, well, thank you very much. Back to you, Rich.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of responsibility to kind of take on himself there. And you guys, I know you've been in situations not identical to it, but obviously having competed. And I mean, I feel like you can't do that to yourself, put that much responsibility on yourself. But in a moment like that, definitely being very humble. How easy is it to kind of grab some of that? I want to hear from both of you. How easy is it to kind of grab on those little things and blow them out?
I got no words for that one. I've unfortunately had experience making a mistake of a similar caliber. Credit to Aiden for just kind of taking the brunt of the blame. I think good leaders, that's what they got to do, right? More than your share of the blame, less than your share of the credit. In this case, it's a pretty egregious error, and it's a shame that that's how Alliance's season will end.
It's one of the saddest stories that you can leave in best of one because there's so much at the stake, and then you end up with not clicking the right buttons. If it was a best of 3, they could have maybe adapt, improvise, overcome, but in this kind of situation where you already have your setup lanes, they were forced to play an offlane void, which was not the great. It did good, but overall, it's not the way you want to end.
It definitely isn't, and that is going to really go with the theme of today, right? The rest of the day, it's nothing but best of ones. So any mistakes that do happen, that's it. That's what you have to live with. Or you're getting sent home from TI. We're going to have 3 more eliminations. We're going to change up the pace a little bit, though, as we do head into the next best of one. We're going to relax a little bit, and we're going to watch Kuroki get a massage.
I have my notes.
Okay.
Do the notes ever scare you when the notes come out? Is it like, what the heck have they?
You're the only one who has notes. So
What?
Yeah.
Is that good or bad?
I think it's cool. Yeah. I'm ready.
Okay. Oh. Everybody I talk to says you're one of the most relaxed players that they've ever seen. Would you agree with that? Or do you feel like you just hide it really well when you get stressed?
I do think I'm calm overall.
Yeah.
But I think it's hard to see, it's hard to see if I'm stressed or phased or anything.
What about when it comes to the stress of TI? Is there a specific kind of stress when you go there versus all the other tournaments, or do you treat it all the same?
It's definitely different. Like in the beginning, we're always nervous. Like it's impossible to remove all of it. It's even healthy to some extent.
How come? Why is it healthy?
I think the nerves, you can use it for something good. It's like using the energies for something good.
How do you do that? Because sometimes when I'm nervous, I can't get over it. And then in other times, I'm able to just use it.
I mean, are you nervous right now?
Yeah, do I sound nervous?
I think you're relaxed.
I don't I of course have to ask about how roster changes come up. How do you know when you need to make a change in the style of play versus the roster itself?
I'll just try to keep it simple. At the end of the day, we as a team did what we think is right for our future. But the hardest part is always to differentiate the business and the friendship aspect, because it's just all mixed into one entity.
So how do you do that?
It's to be honest, I'm still dealing with it. It actually stresses me a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I haven't found a solution or anything. I think I'm even the most stressed by far in my team regarding that. I'm worried, and I don't know. I'm still dealing with it, to just put it this way. But there's more to it.
You're breaking up, Kuro.
There's more to it because it's in my case it's my friend.
Yeah.
So it's more like emotional problems more than anything.
Why Weeha?
Weeha was just a mid player.
Did I hit you?
It's okay. It's relaxing. And with Weeha, I just had a good feeling. He's a pure mid player, which I kind of seeked for in my team. And I think he's very skilled and experienced. when you change players, you take a big risk, and it could backfire or not, but you just go with it.
Are you excited for the tournament to be in Shanghai this year?
Yeah, very much.
How come?
It's TI, so it's the best tournament, and it's kind of cool that it started to be at different places too.
Yeah.
And yeah, just looking forward to it.
Kuro, thank you so much for being a good sport.
Yeah, my pleasure.
See,
I
that
think
wasn't
so.
so bad, right?
Yeah, I'm not
geez,
sure.
They're really going for it over there.
I was told they'll go light on me, but
Oh man, you're so tense.
Guys.
Oh, sorry. We were just getting ready for this next best of one. This one's going to be a little bit of a doozy as well. I mean, we kick things off with obviously a matchup of seeing a Chinese team catch fire. What are we going to see in the next one? We're going to be jumping down to the stage and see our teams in just a few short minutes. It is going to be Liquid playing. Not necessarily the team that you expect to see in a best of one at TI. They're taking the stage right now. Liquid is going to be a squad made up of quite a few members that stand in a place that not many folks do. They have a chance of going on a run here and being a team that can have some members taking not only one TI, but two. Are they going to be able to live up to that? Actually pull down an achievement that not many have done, that not anyone has done. There are a few other names that were going to be on that list that were actually eliminated. One, obviously, Bachu. He was eliminated when Chaos was eliminated. Another one, of course, going to be PPD when his squad was eliminated. But now, let's take a look at their opponents. And now join me in welcoming Fnatic. This is another squad that you don't really expect to see in the best of ones. This is going to be such a tough matchup here. Only one of these teams going to be able to move forward in the losers bracket. And the crowd definitely responding well to the lineup of Fnatic. And I do want to start talking about this matchup in particular. Lacoste, I've already said this isn't one you expect to see this early. What do you think of these two teams?
Well, definitely Liquid at the end of the season looked good. They swapped Matu for V. At one point, they looked like they are the team that can end up in the winner's bracket for sure. But when you saw them at the group stage, it felt a little bit tough, though.
And now to actually talk about their opponents a little bit more, to talk about Fnatic, we have an interview with Casey.
Dubu, DJ, hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the Couch of Pain.
Okay. Hello?
I'll start with a really easy positive question.
Okay.
Okay. Do you all enjoy playing with each other?
Mm-hmm.
Who are the Dota players that you admired before becoming a pro yourself?
I didn't understand the question.
Who are the professional?
Who's your idol? Oh, who's my idol? My idol is Dubu. He's the best. Yeah. When I met him first time, he was great. He gave me a lot of impression. Yeah.
Meeting yourself?
Not myself. I said Dubu. Yeah, he's the best player. Was that the question? Player that who, like idol player you before you become a pro player. It's fine. Next question.
So a lot of teams struggle with a post-TI hangover. But 4 weeks after TI8, you turned around as a team and placed first in a qualifier for a Kuala Lumpur major. How were you able to do that?
This is not positive question.
How is it not positive? You were able to be really successful 4 weeks after TI when most teams right after TI aren't able to play as well.
I would say it's just our roster. We have very strong roster, and then we try to work hard. Yeah, and then we understand each other well.
Who would you most like to face in a grand final?
Grand final. TNC. Oh, that's a good answer. That is good answer. It sounds fun actually. I'll go with TNC too. Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to add?
Any positive question?
We had positive questions. We started with positive questions.
That's not a positive question.
What?
That sounds like just mediocre question. It's not positive, it's not negative. And then right after that, boom, negative question.
What was it?
10 positive.
It's a positive question sandwich.
Okay.
What kind of a positive question would you rather me ask?
I don't know. Maybe like why your wife is so pretty, or like why you're having such good life, stuff like that.
Okay. Why is your wife so pretty?
She's just pretty. Yeah, I love her. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh man, I can relate. I can really relate to that that vibe. That's like every conversation I've ever had with Sind. Just like that's not a very good question. Like Sind, lol. Just trying to get through it. But that was a lot of fun getting to hear that. Now we're really getting close to the action getting started here on the main stage. We're getting to hear a lot from these players, but I really do want to hear from you guys just a little bit more as to what you think is going to happen when we actually get down into the game.
After TI, I'm making a team with Dubu. This PMA can't get triggered. This is the guy that you want to play with. It's something else. You could hear him in his voice. He's not going to get tilted.
I think it's a really important attitude to have in a BO1, right?
Yeah.
You can see even Ice as he walks out on the stage, goofing around, like pretending to have a go at the camera.
I will say, I am single, so I wouldn't know, but I feel like maybe the fact that they have pretty wives might help them.
Yeah, it could. I don't know how you're looking at me. I definitely don't have one.
Oh man, yeah, we're all. No,
the cost is actually. I think you're married, right?
No, I'm not married yet.
No.
Halfway there.
No, yeah, we're all single. Why'd you wink at me? Oh my goodness, bigger Chad than Ogre here in the middle of us in Dominic. But what do you actually think about this matchup? Yeah, we obviously hear Dominic talk about some of the metal that these players are made of, but what do you actually think about how the head-to-head matchup could play out?
I think the biggest one, you go back, like Abed for a long time, for like a year or two, people thought he was up there, like at the top with Sumail and Miracle for a little bit. You know.
Well, yeah, Reddit thought that. What's that supposed to mean?
I mean, I thought Abed. I still think he's a great player.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Reddit's usually pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Wait, you don't think so?
Hey, that's your opinion, man.
Can't wait to see the Reddit thread about Kyle.
No, I think the craziest thing is it's Abed versus We Are, right? And we just heard Croaky say, I wanted a pure middle player. And this dude has been spamming middle heroes. He is the purest of mid heroes.
Funniest anecdote, the other day, it was like 7:30. I ran in, I had to get my room key because I always lose it. And Wee's mom was next to me, right? She was trying to meet Wee, and she was supposed to meet him at 7. It's 7:30. She's like, hey, do you know where he is? Because she recognized me.
Yeah.
Anyway, guess where he is? Huddled around Kuro in the practice room watching a replay.
Slow down there,
What?
Slick.
What?
Wait, keep going.
What? Rich, stop that, okay? I was trying to help her. Point is, Weeha forgot his mom because Kuro had him watching replays. They were in like hour 47. That's all.
You don't want to be eliminated
That's a
in
great
BO1.
point, Kyle. It
What?
really is.
My point is they work hard, okay? Kuro, they boot camped for like 3 weeks in Europe before this tournament. Then they came to China to boot camp for another 2 weeks. I think by far had the most practice of any team coming into this event, and they're in a BO1. I don't think anyone expected that.
Yeah, I think that there obviously have been kind of a lot of things that we didn't necessarily expect to happen. I mean, even with RNG being one of the teams that's in these best of ones, I think that you were one of the ones that was really saying this was a team that looked strong as well. And now when we look at this matchup, none of these teams are teams that you expected in best of one. But I want to talk about the particular head-to-head matchup. You already started to throw this under the microscope, and I kind of want to ask you, this was brilliant in the first panel, really starting to talk about different players that we want to look at that head-to-head matchup. Who are you looking at?
Probably the offlaners. I think Mind Control had by far like the worst tournament I've ever seen in play. Like when Liquid won TI9, they unanimously as a group said Mind Control is our best player. Yeah, and he honestly was phenomenal. Whereas thus far he's looked mortal in this tournament, and I think it's a big part of the reason they've slipped a little.
That is a very important thing to keep in mind, actually start to talk about these matchups. But now we don't have to talk anymore. The matchup is about to get started. Let's see who will survive in TI.
Fnatic versus Team Liquid. Game 1.
And the best of ones continue. That's right, Fnatic versus Team Liquid. The TI7 champs are now in the lower bracket in a best of one against a very scary Southeast Asian team in Fnatic. Fogged, what are your thoughts about just being able to see this matchup in just one game?
I don't think anybody would have expected this to be down here. Maybe Fnatic, especially after the group stages they had. They were showing some rough games, but then they also started bringing it back. But this is going to be a bit of a doozy. I don't really know what I'm expecting here. After seeing Liquid as well, some of the group stage games, they were shaky. I'm pretty excited for this one.
Blitz, do you feel the same? Do you think that both of these teams have had their shaky moments in the group stage?
Yeah, I feel like Fnatic, after they 2-0'd EG, a lot of people were really hot on them. And it just turned out during that that time period, EG was just garbage. But they've gotten a lot better since then.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to rate that win anymore.
So do you still hold to your previous prediction? You said you started off the group stage and you told me Team Liquid, top 4 team or bottom 4 team? There is no middle ground.
There is no middle ground.
Is this the bottom 4 or are they just going to make the run through the lower bracket?
Who knows? I think if they win this game, they'll find the confidence and they'll figure it out. That's what I meant by it. Or they just bust here. I don't think that they're going to get middle of the pack. I feel like they're either going to discover a concept here, it's going to get them rolling, and maybe they finish top 4, or this is it. They haven't figured it out whatsoever. None of their losses were a fluke. I mean, it's just a weird position for them to be in, considering they got second at the major, most recent major. It looked like they were coming on really strong. It felt like Weehaw sort of revitalized them. And now I have no idea where they could end up.
And then on the other side, I mean, just think about Fnatic's position. You're in a best of one, and you actually have to match up against Team Liquid. But they're also a team that has a ton of star power. That they can actually win this best of one. How far away are they from being actually the favorites against a Team Liquid that has been on shaky ground?
I don't think they're very far at all, honestly. I think that Fnatic's a bit of a weird team for me lately, just because of they just recently switched up, right? So I feel like it's still weird to be looking at them playing like this when they're. Yeah, it's just different. Yeah, I don't know. It's very strange for me just because of their dynamic has changed so much with Jabs now playing like the carry and everything. Even though I know we've seen them so much in group stages, I don't know. It's just a bit of a weird one for me. So I think they can, but I think it's still going to be really difficult breaking into Liquid because overall, like they have these like their pedigree, right? Just the pedigree of these players is that much more above than Fnatic.
Yeah. And it has to say something about the confidence level that you have in your team to be able to have this kind of like role switch, right? Like it says you're not really happy with the way things are going.
Yeah, for sure. What's really weird is that I feel like both teams are pretty similar in the sense that I feel like these are both the most boom or bust teams in the tournament. And the scary part is once you start off in the lower bracket, it's not good to be a boom or bust team. All it takes is one bad day.
And the way Fnatic ended, right? That was the last game that they had. Their fate was definitely in their own hands. They were breaking high ground. That game was looking great versus VP, right? And then something just happened. Something broke them. So I'm hoping, for their sake, that does not transition into any of this. I don't know what kind of problems they had. I saw a couple of them. They were pretty down after losing that one because that was their big decider. So see if they can bounce back. In Liquid, some of the games, like I said, they have moments of brilliance and they have moments of high weakness. I saw Miracle bleed more than ever in these group stages. He was jumping in and kind of just dying a lot of the times in these games.
Yeah.
So
at TI, what I think really stabilizes a team is knowing that you have a star player that can carry you out of those bad situations. You have it in the back of your mind and it's in your back pocket. We have Miracle. Eventually he will carry us through a few of these games. And we haven't really seen that from Miracle. This is probably one of the worst tournaments that we've seen him play. It feels like he's making more mechanical errors than ever, high amount of deaths. We're not really seeing that sort of star player impact that we've sort of come to expect from him.
And then on the Fnatic side, was it that man on screen? Is that the man you're going to be depending on to bring in that star power to actually be your anchor in the team? Is that Abed?
I think it's both of these, right? I think it's Abed as well as DJ. I think DJ's kind of been quiet for me. Where we used to always look at DJ and be like, man, DJ's gonna have some like incredible performance. Kind of, I feel like Tim's has kind of taken over like the DJ a little bit.
Yeah,
right? Like, Tim's is having that like crazy 4-position shutdown where he's just going crazy transitioning. DJ's been a lot quieter.
I remember, what was it, Manila Major? The cheers for DJ were off the chart. This was a playmaking support that was able to do so much for you, but unfortunately, Fnatic have not been seeing the same kind of success as you can see through their KDA at the bottom there.
One of my favorite moments when I did work with Liquid was at the Manila Major. Whenever they'd flash the camera inside the booths, you could see them like shouting and yelling after they lost fights. And so I asked after the game, I was like, what were you guys yelling about after they played Fnatic in the lower bracket? And they were like, we were chanting DJ, DJ every time he wiped us.
That's nice. That's a good one. Actually.
I mean, that's the kind of thing you need to do in these high-pressure situations. We saw the biggest clown of all in Dota 2. You had Ice Ice Ice, who was just kind of chilling out. You need somebody to be able to calm everyone down, cut down some of the nerves that are eking out on everybody.
The one thing about this team is I feel like at times they can almost be too calm across the board. Like you have a guy like Abed who, you know, he doesn't really say too much.
No.
He's not one of those like energizing mids that's going to go out there. He's going to do it with his play. I mean, they need to find the spark right here.
I feel like that's sometimes where maybe that might be why they wanted Jabs, why they ended up moving to the one. Because as we know, like Jabs, he might look like this quiet little guy, but he's extremely vocal. Like he's nonstop talking in those games. So maybe that could be a reason why they did end up transitioning. Did I see that? I hear that right.
That is,
I hear that right.
Elder Titan first pick for Fnatic, and Liquid almost instantly respond with the Wisp Gyro.
Yeah, Wisp Gyro, of course, just a really classic combination. Very strong overall. We saw in the last game alone, Gyro, as a hero independently, I feel like he's really moved up for me, but with the IO, he transitions into a different kind of beast.
Yeah, I totally agree. And this is what like Liquid used to be. This used to be Liquid's bread and butter. Having the IO, this is what how they won TI.
I mean, we said the same thing about Alliance, how they were just going for what was their most comfort zone. And unfortunately, that didn't turn out so well, perhaps because of some interesting twists in the draft. That offlane Void and the last pick Gyrocopter.
I like this kind of opener way better. I'm just like going off of like recent memory from the games that I got to see from Liquid when I was casting them during the group stages, and I saw some pretty strange drafts coming out. We saw like a last pick Pango into a Death Prophet where he just couldn't have a lane. Like overall, their drafts have been a little bit weird for me. Just the unison, like how do they all work so well together? I feel like with this type of opener, it's going to be a lot more natural and a lot easier for them to kind of build a lineup around it.
The second pick, Leshrac, this is going to be a squad that has plenty of AoE damage to throw around to try and bring down this Gyro Wisp. It also offers that bit of flexibility that we like to be able to see. We've seen plenty of like these 5-position Elder Titans. This Leshrac can be core or support.
Yeah, DJ had a couple 4-position Lesh, right? Yeah. He had a few throughout the group stages, so for sure.
And we saw what Lanam could do with his Leshrac in that previous game. It's such a dangerous hero. Has one of the better wave clear abilities in Dota with his ulti. He's so mana efficient at clearing stacks. As a support, he's always going to feel good because he comes equipped with a stun and good team fight. He has a way to tower push. He's sort of the type of hero that does it all. The only thing that really hard counters him is when people start to build either A, a little bit more mobility, or B, BKBs. But even in those situations, he doesn't feel that weak because Edict goes through a lot of that damage too.
And he's speedy. He just feels nice to play, right? You're just running around at like 330 movement speed at level 1. Just feels nice.
I mean, I love any support that can wave clear because I'm greedy and I like to last hit creeps, but
Blitz will never be your hard 6 position that just kind of AFKs behind the carry, ready to save him. He'll never be that guy.
Yes, but I will nuke your range creep for you. I will I'll definitely do that.
Secured
For
it,
you,
quote,
he
unquote.
says.
Dude, I love Crystal Maiden as a support for that reason, because you can justify doing that.
I'm pressuring and securing the creep.
Oh,
I
believe me,
swear.
I got to play with the Blitz Dota 4-position Crystal Maiden, the most sacked offlaner of all time, where my 4-position gets to jungle at all times.
Yeah, I was like 2 levels higher than you every game.
Fnatic, so we do have this Wisp Gyro, right? There are a lot of traditional counters to what the Wisp Gyro is. You talk about like, oh, you used to be carrying Morphling all the time, you know, Ancient Apparition to be able to stop the heal. What is the meta counter to these two?
I personally like the Svens and the Lifestealers a couple of times that I've seen, just being able to close on top of him and just bring him down. The Sven also provides you like that Warcry for your team. So it seems to have started to back away from it a little bit lately, but I do think those can be some of those options. I think we used to always see the Jug as well, but Jug's kind of a hero that you're not really looking at too often unless you have some type of way to buff it up.
Yeah, typically you either want some way to deal with both the heroes at the same time, or you want the ability to just deal with the Wisp. Like way back when we used to see EG run the counter, it was their Clinks all the time, just the single target focus onto the IO. Nowadays, it's a little bit more difficult to do that.
See, Fnatic, they even take out so they're looking at just overall just healing and defensive supports, taking out the Oracle as well as that Chen. Oracle definitely making sense, and I mean the Chen too, right? This is just a very comfort pick, and I think taking out the 2 mobility cores on Liquid doing that is really telltale, right? They have an IO, they're looking for their Tidehunter. You're already like very limited on your disables in your draft. So taking out those 2, definitely a good option for Liquid.
You want heroes that will absolutely be punished by a relocate gank and don't have a chance to be able to quickly get out instead.
Plus, Ember is one of those heroes, like I said, it deals with both heroes at the same time. Sleight of Fist Chains is always going to feel good against these guys, because you know that if you get one, you're likely getting the other. And Liquid, in response, they're going to take the Tidehunter. I like this hero. I feel like he's an interesting hero in that there used to be so many different lane counters to him, but nowadays a lot of them have been nerfed. You used to see Monkey Kings all the time, which made him nigh unplayable. You used to see Ursas all the time, but nowadays you don't really see those heroes. So I feel like his laning phase has been enabled a lot more than it used to be.
I think the supports too, right? Like Disruptor, we're not seeing that hero picked like almost at all. AA's been reworked a bit, so like it used to be like the Chilling Touch people would pick to deal with the Tidehunter. So yeah, I definitely can agree with that he's just, I haven't seen this hero, and I think Tidehunter looks like probably one of the best offlaners now, where I was rating like Centaurs and Mars and stuff really high. Now I've been seeing these teams picking it. The way they rally around it, it's just, I think like Fade even said it in his interview where he's just like, yeah, we don't really care if our lanes and stuff are going bad. We have this Tidehunter, we have team fight. We'll be able to take the team fight in those mid-game and later game situations where that's all that matters. You win the team fight, you win the game.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. There are some counters left that are popular. You could have the Slark. That's what we saw Infamous pick against NIP, if you recall in that game, where they absolutely dumpstered that Tidehunter.
You want to talk about a support that does it. There's Grimstroke, who's a force mode pick, but that is highly unlikely to happen anymore. It looks like Fnatic just going to go back to their comfort zone, much like Liquid is doing here.
Yeah, I really like Enigma against the Tidehunter just because he doesn't care about the Kraken shell.
Yeah.
It's similar to the concept of when you pick Disruptor against Tidehunter. He can Kraken off that silence as often as he wants, but it's still going to hit you. Black Hole is a similar position, plus it deals with the IO Gyro in the sense that they're always going to stick together, so you're almost always guaranteeing yourself a double Black Hole.
And with this, there's not too many. Normally, it's like your off lane that's going to provide that like BKB piercing disable that makes sure that the Enigma isn't as much of a threat. Liquid going to have to struggle to find those answers either from their 4-5 or maybe their mid.
Their lineup is a little bit greedy, though, on the side of Fnatic right now.
It is.
I'd like to see them have either more guaranteed stuns or easier ways to start fights.
And what are you leaning towards right now when it comes to Fnatic? This going to be a 2-3 position Lesh with a 5 and 4 Elder Titan and Enigma respectively.
I think that's looking like Abed's Lesh, right?
It could be. It's a pretty good Lush game so far.
That's
there's
what
no
I'm thinking.
heavy burst damage on the side of Liquid, plus your natural BKB carrier. You push out the lanes, which I think is one of the better ways to deal with IO Gyro. Always have the lane in their face.
So while this Enigma is a really good counter pick to everything Liquid has right now, it does leave Fnatic in a bit of a lock position.
Yeah, right now Liquid, they don't have any real way to deal with BKB Enigma, which is always going to be an issue.
I'm surprised they went for the Shaman there. I thought they would go for something like the Rubik or the Silencer, something like that, just to be able to prevent that Enigma from getting any type of thing. But I guess they want to be able to have themselves some more way to push towers and also to have that extra form of lockdown, because right now they don't have no lockdown. This one provides 2. You have your Shackles and your Hex. So
I could
catch
see
heroes.
a situation where Liquid just own the map by playing the Shaman really quickly. Yeah. And if you mess up one black hole, the game just, that's it. It's over.
This is a lineup that can split push really well. It's right. With all this team fight that's coming in from Fnatic, maybe it's better to avoid all this 5-manning and just have Wisp Gyro on one side of the map, Shadow Shaman pushing out the other side.
Yeah. And this is the type of hero that they needed. They needed some sort of pace setter, because I feel like what we just talked about, there is a possibility where Liquid just own the map, win the game really quickly on the back of that, and you have this Enigma that's largely useless. So you take a hero that can sort of set the tempo for your team. Timbersaw, he can potentially just go one-on-one against the Tidehunter. You can leave him relatively open at this point. He lanes everywhere pretty well in this game.
I think, like you said, too, he's a hero that addresses the IO, right? This is the other one, too. It's playing IO versus Timbersaw can be pretty tough because you are, unfortunately, a strength hero. So you really do get chunked down a lot by that. And this is Fnatic. So Ice Ice Ice, you're already like bells are ringing for that Ice 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 Timbersaw. Even though it's been some time, he still has played it a couple of times here. I think he's played it once or twice.
Very few more like quintessential hero player combos than Ice 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 Timbersaw.
I actually wouldn't mind seeing the Enigma this game as your 4. Just considering I think your offlaner has to be a little bit quicker.
So wait, where are you leading for this Timbersaw? Are you thinking it's going to be a mid and maybe like a 1 position or a 3 position Lesh? I mean, there's a lot of options, right? Fnatic, no matter what, they can change things around based off this Liquid last pick.
Yeah, you could even go something like safe lane Timber to one-on-one against the Tidehunter.
Yeah.
You allow the Enigma to do the Enigma thing, jungle, hit the side camp, and then you ET +1 to deal with the Gyro IO. Gyro IO. I don't even think that's that bad of an option, because I think ET actually trades pretty well in that situation.
I want them to have a traditional carry, though, right? Like, if the game gets to later stages, if they end up with this, sure, they have the BKB Black Hole and they have all this damage, but they don't have that one-to-one to be able to actually match up versus the Gyro. So I'm wondering what carry they actually want to go for. Like, Lifestealer and... I've seen the Razor Band, so like the Lifestealer is sticking up a little bit more for me. There's that match to be able to chase out the eye on the Gyro, but...
I agree with you, because I feel like even though you have the Enigma for the ultra late game, because there is no cancel so far, you do want to see something more reliable in terms of DPS. I'd like some sort of BKB carry that can just frontline for you, hit away.
Like initially I was saying like the Sven could still be a possibility, but you were saying like Greed. Sven might be a little bit greedy here.
Is there anything like Juggernaut or one of those faster carries like Lifestealer or something? That's the kind of area you're looking for.
Yeah,
relatively quick tempo that can build up.
Yeah, I feel like Jug actually plays really well so far in this game. He's good against the Tidehunter, doesn't care about the Kraken at all, but in fact, they ended up going for the Kunkka, so...
So it is going to be... Is that a core Enigma?
I mean, it could be our Lesh ET as the side lane, the Timbersaw 1v1 against Tide, mid Kunkka?
Yeah, you can definitely do that.
Kunkka I like a lot versus Gyrocopter. That's one of my favorites from even like, 2 years ago. I think Secret was one of the biggest ones when Kunkka wasn't being picked too much and Gyro was super popular. They just picked this because the Rum is just so good versus Flat Cannon and Call Down. You can predict it easily.
All right, the Necrophos, last pick for Team Liquid. Blitz fogged. Last thoughts about it?
Strong Necro versus Kunkka. I think that one's just for the lane. Try to take over him, and this looks like a good group up lineup for Liquid.
I think Fnatic's actually going to do it and knock out Liquid.
All right, it could happen. Maybe Liquid's going to go out as a bottom 4 team. We'll have to see. But next, we've got an analyst who's so good, he needed his very own segment. Let's go to Nahaz with the last word.
We are back once again here at TI9 with 60 seconds of stats. It's a Liquid game. You know what you're going to get from me. Liquid, this patch, 43-20 in games ending before that 35-minute mark. Only 31-34 in games that go past that point. But Fnatic has one of the best tempo-controlling heroes in the game right now. Elder Titan in this patch, 20-6 prior to the 35-minute mark. A losing record, 21-24 in games that go past that point. And a legendary hero matchup as GH puts his 44-15 career record on the aisle, on the line, as Ice 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 is trying to get his 80th career win on Timbersaw. 79-41. That is 50 more wins than the next closest player for his career. The TI9 champions against third place Stockholm Major finishers Fnatic with everything on the line. Here are Lyrical and Trent.
Thank you so much, Nahaz. A lot of tempo controlling, a lot of records going on. And at the end of the day, it's all coming down to this. A best of one. Who is going to move on? Who's getting knocked out?
I needed the numbers. I haven't got them yet. I'm feeling it. Well, I think the draft seemed to almost be settling there onto a Fnatic.
Yeah.
I would consider that a bit of an upset. I feel like a lot of people started taking Liquid and putting them pretty high up there. And those predictions near the end of the tournament.
I mean, how could you not? You've got like the story captain. You've got the new player that comes in. You know, he's bringing a fresh new style. They looked amazing at the last majors, but they are coming up against the wall here after a disappointing group stage performance. We'll see if they can take down Fnatic, and also if Fnatic have something to say about themselves.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a hype one. What else can we say? We got a black hole. We got a Ravage going on. There's gonna be stuff, particle effects all over your screen. Let's hop into it, ladies and gentlemen.
Lots of team fight, but we might not see it for a little while. We do have a laning stage to get through, and depending on how well that goes for Liquid, perhaps those team fights don't ever materialize for Fnatic because they got the spells, as you were saying. They got themselves a big black hole. They got the Elder Titan setup. They got themselves the boat. I guess both teams are really pretty flush in AoE damage here.
And, you know, not just the AoE damage, it was something that Fog mentioned on the draft panel as well, that rum buff. I think that there was a couple of games last year when we saw the Necrophos, kind of a soft counter having that Kunkka there afterwards, because you get all that damage mitigation right up front, which means you sometimes won't be able to get the kill with the Necro ulti.
Yeah, very true. A lot of sustain, though, overall on the side of Liquid, right? You always... You know, we talk about these cheesy and cheeky things you can do with the IO. Speaking of cheeky, ice. Yeah, it's looking for that last win. Jeez, that guy just never stops. But we've talked about damage reduction before with the IO, and now you kind of have this double heal thing going on, right? The Necrophos and the IO, a bit of a classic. So either through popping the Greaves or just by using the Death Pulse itself, you're going to be healing yourself. You're going to heal the IO. You're going to heal the guy who IO is playing with, and then you're going to get the heal amplification as well from the IO to that same person. So this gyrocopter is going to gain like 700 HP.
That's going to be a lot of HP, man. Not going to lie. That sounds terrifying to play against. The flip side of that, though, of course, is that you do have the nice lockdown as well as ridiculous burst damage that Timbersaw brings. Granted, in a little bit of an AoE, and sometimes can be lacking when you need to bring down that one particular target. But that's what the rest of the heroes are there for. So Fnatic going to look like they get a little bit of an easier lane for Ice, as DJ will deny out the range creep coming in.
Yeah, if it wasn't easy enough already, right? Getting a matchup versus the Tidehunter. I don't know if we were going to get like musical lanes going on here, how much the team's going to carry about it, and how much can this Shadow Shaman do here? Because we know the guy's got a mean right click. Kuro even starting with the Fairy Fire to try and bob it up a little bit higher. And trying to get those Eidolons. Oh, DJ with the micro. I hear this guy has a very good Enigma.
It's true. He is a monster. And we'll have to keep our eyes on him. Abed already getting the first range creep deny. Nicely played there against Weehaw. As we said, those Eidolons die in the bottom lane. And up top, the other one we haven't talked about, Jabs playing on the Leshrac. A hero that has really run the gamut as far as positional play goes. He's absolutely everywhere.
Yeah, and something that he's comfortable with, I guess, speaking of being everywhere, so is Jabs, right? I mean, the guy's played mid, the guy outplayed position 1, and the guy was just playing support, so Leshrac, a hero that fits into all those categories. I would hope that he's going to be well-versed in it.
Yeah, and you can expect that that's going to be the case. A little CS there for Mr. Kuro. Gets the last hit on the other one as well. Always nice as a support if you can pick some of that up early on. But like you mentioned, something that could become an issue as this goes on is the Timbersaw against the Tidehunter. This hero so often thought of as the counter for those just melee strength cores, bring down the HP, and you can see he's just getting chunked a little bit.
And the problem is, I don't think they have a kill opportunity before level 3. Once you hit level 3, you get the second point into the reactive armor. Times get pretty tough versus the old Timber, and the Enigma constantly going to be pulling that lane back if he wants to, or just gaining a ton of gold for himself and fully focusing on his farm like DJ is right now, getting some camps finished out, making sure they respawn, and even helping to control the runes there.
As we can see, the illusion rune spawning down bottom, and moving over to that spot already is going to be DJ.
Mind Control's got a plan. He says, you know what? I just won't lane.
I love it. That's great.
This is pretty much what you have to do, right? He's already got the Kraken Shell. Unfortunately, He's got himself a stout shield, so maybe not helping him too much right now, but he's just gonna dodge the Timber and say, come get me if you want me, and Enigma doesn't want to deal with him. He's gone into the Radiant jungle, which is also spotted right now by that ward. So this is a pretty great solution right now as long as Kuro doesn't feed.
Okay, so Kuro hangs down bottom, tries to mess with the last hits of Ice Ice Ice. This was a constant hero that we would see do this as well.
Yes.
The Shadow Shaman when it was Darkseer that was making this exact same play.
Yeah, he's got the big base damage. So currently at 80, he already has 4 denies.
Very, very nice. Can maybe get a couple of pulls off here as well. So this lane looking like it's probably going to be a wash with every now and then Ice 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 maybe losing out on a couple of creeps. We'll see if anybody rotates over from Fnatic to try and disrupt this. But
oh, he's getting close. I better move back one more. All the way back to the tier 3. And you can't blame him. That's exactly what he's got to do. Mind control. Figuring it out.
Now, Yeehaw gonna eat a stun as well as a couple of tower shots there, but couldn't get the Tidebringer punch off to him either. And so far, so good. You look at Liquid across all the lanes, they're kind of winning it out, but the big wrinkle that's thrown into that is that, of course, DJ on the Enigma constantly farming.
Yeah, he is making his move now towards the mid lane as well. Just gonna give a little high five to Weehaw as he passes through. Oh, hopefully not to any farm here. Well, maybe more than a high five.
Well, he's gonna peg it out of there. Misses a couple of Eidolons. And Mind Control, just keep it on farming. Already level 4 now. Haven't really talked that much about top lane as of yet. And it is still that Gyrocopter against the Lesh. And Gyro getting a little bit better of him so far, but not by a significant margin.
No, pretty much even up here. It looks like Fnatic just don't really have a solution. You can say it kind of comes down to what Ice Ice can do, right? Because they are trading essentially equally. Ice Ice, he's going for the hard camp, but at the same time, he's also getting denied occasionally from Kuro. So, depending, Kuro just really wants these denies. He should come out on top, right, as the Timbersaw. And then you'd also think that the Timbersaw is going to be the hero that's going to be able to better push that net worth onto the enemy team.
Goes for the very risky courier
This
move.
is the hardest working courier
crazy.
you're ever going to see at 4 minutes.
Yeah, they're going to send it around the back way.
He's getting the air miles.
That's true. Oh, look out now. Top lane, Jab's already under fire. Gyrocopter trying to bring him down, but Miracle not quite able to get that kill. And it's going to be a salve up and the back away. So again, a very passive laning stage so far. Abed does need to be a little bit careful. He's going to salve up since we had just got level 6. Bounty runes trading off. It looks like it is 2 apiece.
Yeah, just enough to get GH his bottle now, too. So if this lane was even before, as you can see Miracle's already starting to pull away, shouldn't be the case now. Should give a pretty significant advantage to them. Oh, I see a line drawn here from Dubu saying, go get this guy. Just directly at the Tidehunter.
I mean, Mind Control's just doing whatever the heck he wants, right? Like, this guy is just happy as a clam, hanging down here in the bottom lane.
This is way better than people jungling. Like, this is significantly better. It's way more gold.
All right, everybody is going to start doing this in pubs, and I'm perfectly fine with that.
It is very frustrating, though, because how do you, like, what do you do?
No.
If you just waste your own time to do it, like, let's say you even kill the guy, he's not even worth that much necessarily, and he's just going to TP back and probably do it again.
No.
Or he'll have messed up the lane enough that life's good. But here we go. Haste Rune, that's a good way to deal with it.
Oh, that's a lot of Eidolons that were coming close to going down, but Abed pulls back in the Tidehunter. The lower matchup is alive and well at this point as they will find that kill onto... Well, okay. He misses the chain, but he gets the kill. Ice 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 takes him down. But in the meantime, it's a lot of pressure onto that tier 1 tower bottom.
And finally a first blood. 6 minutes. It's one of the later ones I've seen.
Uh-oh. A little bit of a problem as Kuro made the rotation. They didn't quite spot it out. The stomp is going to come a bit too late. So they find a kill now onto Jabs on that Lesh and going to get the pressure onto the tower afterwards.
Yeah, evening things up here. They also have that catapult with them. I don't think they want to give this one up. Knowing that the Timber doesn't want to make that rotation, what can the Leshrac do? Can he come back into this?
He's thinking about
Jabs,
it.
He's not sure. He's just sitting at his base.
Well, he's going to come back now, and they do have the missile onto the Elder Titan. Not a chance for a stomp as of yet, but it looks like the catapult is eventually going to get denied, actually. So, yeah, tons of damage onto that tier 1 tower top, and not really that much to show for it. If they're not careful, they might end up going down. Trying to get the D ward here.
That's nice. Fresh ward. Jeez, dude just walked into Kuro.
Just got back out afterwards. So yeah, in the meantime, Ice is going to get the pressure down bottom, so see if they can trade off these tier 1 towers one apiece, although there's a rotation coming in now. It's Weehaw moving down to the bottom, the wraparound coming from Mind Control as well. It does have Ravage available, but it doesn't look like they can really commit for it fully. Top tower goes down, GH getting the last hit on. They're actually going on him now. Looking for the stomp, is not quite going to connect, and Abed looking for the X-play afterwards, but doesn't have that many points. On the side, they find themselves one. Dubu chasing out Kuro, but they're trying to kill off Miracle, and it looks like they will be able to pull him back in, take him down, and GH the one who gets away.
Another solid rotation there from Abed will actually get the kill this time, as Ice isn't there to snag it away from him. And that's the hero you want, right? Slow down this gyrocopter. Of course, Weehaw is getting a little rich down bottom as he's tagging with Ice and DJ, perhaps looking for a scythe on that oh-so-tantalizing Enigma. But they're going to bring down jabs here, too. So 2 cores here versus the Weehaw Necrophos.
You do have to be careful, though. Dive like this in a position where you might get caught and killed. It's going to be a quick one for Weehaw, most likely, as he does go down. Yeah. Very nice rotation.
No Ghost Shroud to abuse. Also didn't even have that many wand charges in the first place. So now I believe we're going to get a trade here because it's going to be very difficult to try and defend this one for Liquid.
Now it's just sort of Timber Saw thing, right? Timber chain forward from Ice forces them back, take control of the jungle. Again, easy peasy for Fnatic. And it's sort of still bringing up that question of, like, is there one side that you're favoring a little bit more? I mean, you just got the Midas on the Enigma.
I do like that. I also like that both teams have their supports in the mid lane right now. Just kind of trying to get to that level 6 a little bit quicker than the tomes will give you. See if you can get some lane XP while your friends are jungling. You can see Abed's up in the Dire jungle, just going through some creeps, waiting for the wave to push in. And Miracle also kind of doing the same here to give some space to their support. It's something that Liquid has always done in the past to try and enable these greedier position 5s.
Definitely. Much needed. Abed gonna get his dance moves on. So he heads off into the jungle to get some more farm. And as you said, need to get that level 6 on Curl. One of the downsides of having that Tidehunter off to the side and then just denying is he doesn't get any experience in lane. So he's naturally going to be lower than pretty much everybody else in the game at this point. But meanwhile, Liquid, a little bit fresh and fanciful here with Ice. Steals away the medium camp. They're literally just like jostling for position over who gets to farm off the jungle.
Well, it was a point that was mentioned as well during the draft was, you know, where's the catch? What are the stuns here from Liquid? And suddenly this the Enigma comes out. They don't really address it right away with the support with the BKB piercing. They wind up going back for the Reaper's Scythe, trying to have something to deal with it. And then just general like low cooldown stuns even to try and handle this Timber Saw. There's not a whole lot to go off of.
No, you really need that Shadow Shaman, but as we've mentioned, it doesn't have the levels to do it as of yet, and certainly doesn't have the farm.
He does get great cast range later on, though. That is one thing that the hero's pretty good at. If the Timber Saw isn't very careful when he's going through these team fights, like just anywhere close, you can get shackled or hexed.
Yeah. You can see DJ there just adjusting his microphone. Should be ready to get back going again. You see the go call from Abed. Let's get this game underway. Let's play some Dota. Not us.
No.
Them.
That would not be great.
It's a 10-minute mark. Rune's coming up. Dubu trying to secure this bounty rune off to the side, but should be easily gotten off there, and Fnatic going to pick up 3.
Yeah, looks that way.
Uh-oh. Weehaw. Down bottom, they're all rotating.
First black hole if they want it.
He's in some trouble. Malefice down, looking for some body blocks, jabs with the haste rune, and they might not even need it. Although he is healed back up to full, and they're just going to drop the black hole right onto his head. Mind Control trying to move in for the Ravage. Is it going to be enough? Weehaw able to get the Reaper Scythe off in time. It does find the kill, but it comes at the cost of his own life. And now, can they pick off jabs? This would be a huge kill for them, and Liquid able to make it happen with the rotation.
Reinforcements arrive. Ice wasn't even that scared. He still kept hitting creeps. The missile will send him running, though. So it turns out being a 2-for-1 there overall.
Oh,
they return back to Dubu.
He's in a little bit of a bad spot. Can they bring him down in time? TP does not finish. GH is the one of all people to get the kill, and now dropping down the wards. There's kills happening all over the freaking place. Abed trying to get the ghost off. Can they get away in time? It doesn't look like it's quick. And having stick charge as well, bottling up to try and run away. The slowdown coming. Abed's actually making it out of there in time. Ice trying to play interrupt as well. Throwing a couple more black cannon shots, and now Ice is the one in trouble. He goes down as well. One by one, save your buddy syndrome. It's not the way to do it.
The one thing you don't want versus Liquid is these long, drawn-out fights when the Necros is around, too. Just, like, dragging them under the tower. Sure, pop a Death Pulse, keep things going. I got an IO, keeping me nice and healed. And the only reason Abed gets out of there is because Kuro low levels in the Hex and the Shackles, so he's manages to survive, but they do have a pretty good movement speed right now to keep up with that Timbersaw.
And so often we talk about the importance of taking down that tier 1 tower in the mid lane, opening up the rest of the map, and really actually shutting it down for Fnatic. But a big win there, as they're able to find a couple quick kills for Team Liquid. In the meantime, it does look like Ice is going to try and clear through the Ancient stack that was built up. That's probably one of the only ways that this could go really tragic for Fnatic at this point, was if that stack got stolen away. But it will be able to finish off his hood.
Yeah, aside from that, things are still relatively even across the board right now. Not a real like standout Timbersaw game in terms of like he's not setting the entire pace of things. It does hurt when you have a death like that, but he tends to wait for that hood. Especially Abed himself is one of the better Timbersaw players at abusing that, right? Where he would just go for this hood super early on and start planting himself in front of the tier 3s, much like Mind Control was.
Absolutely.
Vision currently very lax for both teams. I see some wards kind of planted down defensively for Liquid. Keep an eye on their own neutrals and potentially stacks as well. But they're flying a little blind up top there. No radar around, so dangerous stuff near Fnatic.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and obviously you can kind of get an idea of where people are at just based upon where you're moving and whether you see people there or not, where the lanes are pushed out. But always a little bit more comfortable if we can get the vision down. Drums finished off now for the gyrocopter. As we hit this 13-minute mark, Timbersaw still the one who's sort of leading the net worth table. And I think the big hero that's kind of fallen behind has been Jabs on that Leshrac. He feels like he's kind of changing his importance and role right now. It doesn't really feel like a position 1.
No, I would agree with that. They do need him for the tower push and everything, but a lot of that damage that you take out of that traditional 1 role is going to be helped out here from the Enigma.
You can see the lane comparisons here. Io Gyro making a lot happen. A lot of that after that last rotation and continued team fight that they had.
Oh, they're trying to catch Kuro down here. Has a TP.
Trying to run. Jabs moving in. Can they get there in time? No, they didn't. They spotted him. But they turned back around at the last second. So
they had the Yules
got away with
too. I really thought they were going to grab him on that one, but yeah, couldn't quite get that vision at the right moment for themselves. Now the Liquid are going to try their luck here. Ice is on the run, but he's got vision of Observer Ward, so very unlikely to get caught. He doesn't see the Invis rune on a Shadow Shaman, though, so that will turn things perhaps into Liquid's favor. Ice playing it very safe, however.
Very much so. In the meantime, while the pressure is coming from Liquid up in the top lane.
Now, this is what Lesh does.
Down bottom, Lesh doing what he does.
Yeah. May not be a 1 in some of the more traditional senses, but he pushes towers like no other at this point in the game. They really want this Blink Dagger on DJ before they want to take these fights, because sure, they went for the Necrophos as a way to cancel like the Blink Dagger and the BKB, but I mean, first off, before the BKB even, you saw they needed to Ravage to cancel. It's still going to be difficult sometimes for Kuro to get the proper spacing for it too. So once the BKB's there, he's just going to black hole Weehaw every time.
Right.
And then they don't have an answer.
I mean, that's really the problem in this game. It feels like you need to be playing around the vision of Liquid and not giving an opening there onto Weehaw. Because otherwise you're just going to die in the duration of it.
You talk about stealing stacks though, and Weehaw is after it right now. Just got like 4 camps here, all found out, getting those Sadis procs going.
So meanwhile, towards mid, they were kind of eyeing it up. Fnatic, Jabs was doing the little hide in the trees, get some damage onto the tier 1 play. But meantime, it's a smoke up coming from Liquid, GH, as well as Miracle, looking for an opening, and they are going to break now. So they realize DJ's in the area, going to get the missile onto him. Does it break the TP in time, though? It's not quite going to get there in time.
Yeah, TPs are broken in this game right now. For Fnatic.
Get a Yules.
Very busted. Gonna be getting quite a few of those off themselves. Now we have the Hood and the Vanguard done for Ice Ice Ice. This guy is itching to see some enemy heroes.
And I feel like this is sort of a testament to the type of game that we've got going on right now in Dota. In the best of ones.
Look at this.
Oh.
Smoked up away from the Timbersaw here. So you've got him tangling with Weehaw up top.
GH
Probably not expecting a smoke here.
They got him. They got Miracle, but the turnaround Ravage is there. On to 2. Is it going to be enough damage? It looks like already Jabs needing to run away. Abed also is already away from there. And the 4-person stomp, that might be enough to get them out. Shackles are going to land onto the Elder Titan. And with that, Liquid pick up 1. I feel like Fnatic have to feel lucky getting out of that with only 1 dead.
And there's one problem with that strategy, and that's that Ice 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 can't cancel the TP. So Weehaw does also just leave right in front of his face to ensure that nothing will go wrong in that bottom fight. Great Ravage there, by the way. A little bit of an unorthodox build, I would say, from Tidehunter's these days to just go like Medallion Blink, right? A Blink this early on the hero, you tend to want more auras and everything, but this also comes back to that idea of just pretty poor catch here, trying to ensure that DJ doesn't take over this game early, and not even worrying so much about the BKBs, just saying, listen, we don't want to get like blackballed early. We lose 2 heroes, and suddenly we've lost like 3 towers.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I was sort of trying to talk about before the last fight broke out, and now there's going to be a fight breakout, so I won't be able to talk about it now either. But the big thing is it feels like oftentimes these best of ones, you end up playing a little bit more passive, waiting until you get that first item, that like no rush 15 minutes or so that end up coming out. As they do run into Kuro, and this is looking like a very dead Shadow Shaman. As the stun lands, Miracle moving into position. Are they going to try and fight this? DJ's here as well. Got to be careful. The black hole laid down onto both of them with the boat coming out as well. GH not able to heal him up through that. Jabs getting the walkway. Wards are still down, but Abed chasing. Can't find the Torrent. Meanwhile, Reaper Scythe kills off Jabs. So the Lesh does finally go down. And Abed also in a little bit of trouble. If Mind Control could run him down there, doesn't want to go uphill.
It feels like Ice is just having a hard time getting involved in these engagements, though.
Yeah.
Maybe he's getting stuck off the side with, I mean, he had 500 damage in that team fight. Like, you need him carrying right now. This guy's your highest net worth.
Well, and much more being involved in getting those defensive items, it feels like. And it is very valuable, you know, picking up the pipe. It's a lot of AoE magical damage and a little bit of physical thrown in there from Liquid. If you get all of those team fight items, there's going to be a huge window here for Fnatic to try and really put the pressure on Liquid.
Yeah, it just feels like a Timbersaw who's this far ahead, you would hope that he's definitely having a good lane impact, right? He's helping to push these side lanes a lot, and it is hard for them to shut him down, so he can play very aggressively, but he hasn't really been able to help like dominate the game like you would hope a Timbersaw does when he's so far ahead.
True enough. 1,000 gold lead right now for Fnatic. So we get closer to the 20-minute mark.
And closer to the Aghanim Scepter on Miracle, where that's where any sort of lead for Fnatic is going to start dwindling away towards the side of Liquid. And you don't really have the same farming mechanism coming out on the side of Fnatic. We don't have that like double bracer into the Radiance build from the Kunkka, nor do we want it, because I think this is a very fast lineup to try to play. He's going straight for the BKB after that Spirit Vessel. So kind of helping to negate this healing.
A very unique build going for the Spirit Vessel first, but it's just is a testament to how important that item is against this draft, whether it's the Necrophos, you know, or the IO or whoever.
I do think, though, that they're looking like they might have some damage issues if Liquid can get over this hump, because you have Weehaw going for the potentially the Radiance. He saved up a lot of gold. He isn't committed yet, but it's looking likely. And then you're going to have to Gyrocover to the Aghanims. He's going to start getting to more and more items after that. And if you've gone for the Spirit Vessel BKB build, Abed's going to have to wait for like a day list sort of thing, and he's not going to be farming that fast because he's committed so much into fighting items that if Liquid can just dodge and try and build themselves up, then I think the hump past like 30, 35, 40 minutes, depending on how these tower pushes go, looks very good for Team Liquid.
And as we see the 20-minute mark come and go, the bounty runes will be traded off yet again. This time, it's Fnatic picking up 3 to the 1 of Team Liquid, with Abed also finding a little invis room. Throw in his bottle. Tons of sentries all across the map. You can just see him dotted here and there. And it's still just feeling like it's one of those games where neither side wants to put a foot forward or out of place.
I don't blame Liquid. Liquid are farming up a gyrocopter.
Yeah.
I do think Fnatic are probably, you know, a little itching here. Like, how is there's still a tier 1 mid and a tier 2 or a tier 1 top with a 10k net worth Timbersaw? To me, that's a big problem.
Yeah.
I don't see that as okay. They did get the tier 2 bottom, sure. They helped push in there, and it has positioned Liquid much more like north on this map, which is all very good. But I feel like maybe Fnatic could have more.
Yeah. Well, and maybe going to try and make that move soon. Their lead does continue to grow as they farm up the other side of the jungle. And as you said, keeping Liquid just stuck in this one particular area.
Oh, man, he's got so many islands. Whew.
That was beautiful. Yeah. Aghanim Scepter done for the Gyrocopter. His farm will continue to accelerate.
They want ice in the mid lane here. They have the Scythe, they have the Ravage.
Gotta be careful. 20 stacks right now of reactive armor, but Mind Control is there, taking it all the way with Solar Crest, and the relocate comes in afterwards. This guy is going down.
That's a problem. That's a pinata popping right there. That's gonna go right to Weehaw. He's now top of the net worth. And you can't be that alone. You know, despite how tanky you are at the Timbersaw, that is one beautiful thing about the Necrophos.
Yeah.
Right? It is always gonna cut that effective HP by a significant margin.
Well, and it's so interesting, too, because oftentimes the split push coming in.
This is very good. This is the power of taking that tier 2 bottom. Sure, they didn't get the top stuff, but this helps you control Roche as the Dire team. Threatening a push into the bottom lane like this gives you information that they have to leave the Roche pit.
And now finishing off that Crimson Guard as well as a BKB on the Lesh. Maybe this is that timing that Fnatic were looking for, where they want to try and just control the whole map. And maybe even start to take some solid fights. Because we got double BKBs, all the survivability items for the Timbersaw.
Yeah, that timing is coming very soon for Fnatic, right? Where they want to make the most out of this Timbersaw, but he's going to get a lot of help. He's starting to be caught up by his allies, which is exactly what you want at this point, right? Timbersaw doesn't need to keep accelerating that much further, but you're getting to the point where all of these heroes need to connect, make use of their quad net worth and triple BKB options here, and take everything that's left here and deny it all away from Miracle.
Much needed. As they pressure through towards mid. Somewhat grouped up again. Maybe go for a smoke play here, possibly.
Man, 150 GPM is a lot at this point. 23 minutes in, and you see that recipe in your backpack, and you're like, oh, thank you. Like, I need every little bit I can get. Unfortunately for them, though, they won't find a fight before the Radiance is complete. This Necrophos has not given himself anything new for 4,000 gold plus. And now he's a whole new beast. He's going to be farming a lot faster. He's going to be doing much more damage in the team fights.
Yeah.
And helping to effectively remove a little bit of damage from his opponents here. No really super strong right clickers to have to worry about, though. So it's not so much a defensive Radiance in this game, or not offering any value in that regard.
Weehaw is just on another level. He's like body blocking the range creep. That creep wave was so far away.
It creates a potential possible situation for a gank, right?
Yeah, it's true, I guess.
The closer it is to your side, the better things look. Meanwhile,
speaking of a game, up top.
Oh, that was a BKB. No! You don't get to use that one.
Kill off that Leshrac.
Kuro doesn't even have Aether. And he caught him. Daytime. Caught him sleeping on the Leshrac.
X, though, back towards mid. One Radiance thing about it is that it is not a BKB, and they've got controlled, but the Earth Splitter coming through. The Ravage as well. DJ Black coin, but is it enough? It's not looking like it. They do end up still not having that Lesh. X, though, onto GH, pulling him back in. Can they find any extra kills? ICS's trying to escape.
I got him again.
In the middle of that Timber Chain. This guy is not going anywhere. ICS's tries to run. Can they kill him off afterwards?
Oh, a stomp too?
Miracle's still chasing, looking for that follow-up. The Torrent is going to be there. ICS's gets to the high ground. Jeez. This guy's actually getting away like crazy.
The team play there coming up. First, he gets shackled mid-chain, then he gets hexed. He needed everything he could from the man who is his own idol, Dubu. Comes through with the double saves. Look at that damage, though, from Miracle. He is a scary guy already. 3,000 in that last team fight. And DJ was the one who picked up all the gold, about 400 for himself. So that first black hole with a BKB, it does land onto the Necrophos. But you hear it. Liquid heading to the pit. Not having to worry about the black hole, though not having the Ravage as well. Oh, and Miracle, he's flexing. That's why.
Mass BKBs. Now, so many right now across all the heroes. And these team fights feel like they're about to get a little bit weird.
Yep. Time to start baiting BKBs out. Who's got it? Who doesn't? There we go.
Jump in. Mind Control already on top of him. ICS's taking a lot of damage, but very maneuverable. The stun is going to connect. The boat's already gone out, but the BKB means it will not connect. And this time, ICS's does not get away. A three-person stomp. Doesn't look like there's any follow-up, though.
came just a hair too late for the save. And I don't think you're going to see much of a contest here.
So Roche going down. Dubu.
Burrow's crazy.
Doing what he can. He spots him out now. And the Hex, does it go out in time? They don't quite have the range.
Gotta play it quite safe here.
But that stomp will land. And while he slept, he might actually kill off Roche. So Roche is going to go down. Miracle picking up the Aegis.
Well, Fnatic, that very good timing for them is slipping away quite quickly. They need to find some sort of like a quick pick onto the Aegis, ideally without the black hole, right?
Yeah.
I mean, saw it last game with Alliance and RNG. The ultimate counter to these big cooldowns is the buyback, but you know what's even better? The free buyback that brings you right back in the action of the Aegis.
Or just kill everybody. You know, that's the other option.
Yeah, okay.
This game's gotten all crazy to me, man. I don't know how I feel about it, because you've got still this like quad core thing going on from Fnatic, but the 3 cores from Liquid just feel like they're that much stronger, and you've got that accentuation of strength coming from the IO as well.
You got the fear of the IO too, right? Like nowhere is safe on the map. You never know.
That is a face that inspires a lot of fear.
They might as well just put that as an IO Arcana. I just want his floating face. That would be great.
Oh, that's a possibility.
ISSA is going to come down here. Maybe try to bait things out here. Set it up for Abed and DJ. He's got the Blink. He's got the BKB. And Miracle, he's just saying, come on. I got the Aegis. Give me the black hole.
I saw the Spirit coming back to Dubu over on the side. There's going to be the Torrent, the follow-up coming afterwards from GH.
Jabs is trying a wrap around.
Looking for that combo. They already have the BKB out from the Leshrac as they continue to follow down GH as well as Miracle. If they can kill off the IO, be good, but the relocate comes in. Last second, Black Hole up to the north with the boat landing on top of it as well. Is it enough damage? No! The Ravage comes out on to 4. They're going to call them all out. Now BKB, he's still living. The turnaround comes as DJ is there with the Black Hole. The Shackles onto Ice on the side. Means there's not enough damage to throw in afterwards, though. Ice seeing if he can find the secondary kill here onto Miracle. There's going to be the X. They have nothing else to throw.
DJ just TV'd out. He's like, okay, we got it. We got a couple kills. We got the Aegis. Get out. Retreat. And sounds the horn, and his allies do just that. I'm going to call that a pretty nice win there for Fnatic right at the end. They made that fight so chaotic. So many angles coming through. You got Jabs running up the stairs. He's tagging with Weehaw right there by where the wards are planted. He's popping his BKB. BKB's galore. And the team fight recap. It was indeed incredibly messy.
Yeah. Well, and that's what happens when you get into these situations where, you know, everybody's super mobile. There's not a lot of like low cooldown control, as we can see this team fight or replay right
DJ
here.
right there too. He gets hit by the Ravage, but his Blink, he's just to wait, right? Coming back in there, perfectly in there, just to help clean up that last little bit of a double kill and then into the Aegis.
Very, very well played indeed. Now back to live. We still see about the same net worth disparity that we had before.
Gonna run into DJ. Oh, did they not see each other? Wow,
Ships
that
in
was
the
close.
night.
Okay, yeah. Just you know, we cool. Just pretend you farm, I farm. It's fine.
Don't tell anybody I'm down here. I don't want to be here anymore. So yeah,
he's scanning his way through here. He doesn't have any ops. Gross is on a mission.
Yeah, this guy's crazy.
Shadow Shaman, a good split pushing hero, and of course also one of these heroes I can set up for IO relocates. Like the Bane is the traditional one and the one that you always tend to think of, but they went for the Shadow Shaman instead this game.
Yeah, and you can see DJ doing the smart play, hiding off in the trees, knowing that that's where Kuro might be looking.
He's got that cast range talent now too, so he might be thinking about picking up that Aether Lens as soon as he can. It's a tough call between the Aether and the Blink in some games.
There's a couple cool little plays you can do by just dropping wards down in the trees, and then it fills up all the areas, and then you just spot the Enigma.
Yep.
But obviously a high risk, high reward type of play. Zabed thinking about throwing out that Torrent. And Mind Control. Jason, they'll secure some bounty runes. Relocate in. They're going crazy. Tubu already down, and Ice is just out of there.
Another bailout situation here from Fnatic. But they're keeping the gap close. They're not letting this Aghanim's Gyrocopter get away from them, which I think is a little bit surprising. Probably speaks to just really DJ, right? I mean, the fact he's got the GPM talent, he's got the Midas, that's what's keeping this net worth close. Perhaps it's a little bit inflated. At the same time, it's hard to overvalue Enigma, of course. When it's DJ, when you make the right plays, and if this guy does get the refresher he's working on, he can single-handedly win a team fight.
It's really insane how strong that spell is when there just isn't really a counter, particularly if you can find Weehaw in the midst of a fight, there's nothing else for BKB Black Hole.
And he is all in. Spends his last pennies on it. Oh, and a smoke, of course, picked up to go with it.
Oh, on the other side of the map, Liquid, together as 3. They're going to smoke up and look for that relocate gank. Obviously, GH and Miracle sitting very close together, ready to come into the fight at a moment's notice. And, well, you gotta be so careful, though. I don't know if they're prepped for this. DJ, double Black Hole available.
Ice has to be really fast here on the Lotus. If Kuro reveals. And,
yeah, they see him now. The rest of his team is so far away.
Oh, he's going right towards them.
They move in. Does have that Lotus Orb for the moment. Chase trying to get away. He misses his chains. Oh, Ice, he's in trouble. He's gonna get Hex, he's gonna get Reapered, and he's gonna go down. And the turnaround coming though. Fnatic, they really want to take this fight. This is bold as brass. They want to find this big Black Hole play, but they don't have their Timbersaw. He's dead for 100 seconds. Jabs goes forward for Weehaw. He already has his BKB. This is looking a little bit testy right now, Dubu.
DJ's
going for his Omen. They've already got the Sword rewards down as well. Jabs, super low. He's just dead. Fnatic, they're in a terrible position. They managed to find DJ as well. He goes down. Fnatic, a death is not an initiation. As they find themselves another 4 dead and Miracle gets the triple.
I think they feel it slipping away. They have the same ideas, like what their timings are, and they feel like they maybe capitalize on this. And Weehaw made that call. He just starts pinging. He sees the Enigma, and Mind Control jumps. Just like, if we ravage this guy, and we catch him in the tree line there, we win this team fight.
32 minutes in, only a 2,000 gold lead, but you look at these, no buybacks. They fully invested for that fight.
Yeah, and Ice was so close. I mean, this guy was 80 gold away from a buyback. Potentially, someone they might have needed, right, if they had any hope of winning that team fight.
Well, moving up towards the high ground. They don't have wards, but you can see Weehaw's willing to go up there without any creeps even. Liquid, smelling fierce, sort of seizing this moment as they move up towards the high ground.
They're not stopping.
They're going.
They want that full tier 3. DJ's going to put a little bit of a question mark on this, I would think. Are they really going to go for the racks?
This is crazy. I mean, they don't have the Kunkka for 20 more seconds, but they do have that double Black Hole, and you can see that Lesh is actually TPing up top already.
They're dancing back and forth a little bit here, but yes, indeed, they will commit, and a full lane will go to Liquid.
Well, heads up play from them, recognizing that there was just that chance to take the fight. And you can see here, it was set up like they wanted to go for that DJ Black Hole, but Mind Control found him.
It is such a risky play, too. If they're trying to take the Timbersaws down, but I can understand, like, they're trying to get them all clumped up. They think they see their moment. There's no sight. And this is right there as DJ just instantly, right there, pinged, boom, got him, guys. Get in there. Yeah, see you later, Enigma.
It's so tough. And obviously punished heavily Liquid, a team that you can't afford to make mistakes against.
Back in the live game, they almost found him again. But no worries there. Miracle, yeah.
They're feeling themselves. DJ getting caught out there.
Pretty much the expected reaction of just like, not find my right moment there, guys. Next one.
Another smoke up. They know that they have all of their abilities yet again. Miracle caught. A big jump. This could be their moment as well. They follow through already there. The big Earth Splitter comes through as well. GH super low. They need to find another. Can they get another? Kuro caught again. X Torrent. The combination comes out. And this is all without Black Hole.
That ward into the Ancient Camp.
What?
Well done to spot for the Torrent. Typically a place you expect there to be a sentry, but there was nothing covering it, so they didn't see it from Liquid. Dubu makes the play, and, well, we're there. I mean, this is just like when Ice died. Fnatic look a little stunned. They're kind of running around in circles like, okay, what do we do? Where do we push? Where are we going here, guys?
Roche respawning again in 2 seconds. I mean, they're going to see it, and they're going to go for it. There's no gyrocopter for 35 seconds. Ice runs into Mind Control, going to try and get a little bit testy with them here. See what he can possibly do. But back and forth, the pendulum swings.
I think he's going to lose out on both those bounty runes.
Yeah.
Well, they know the Roche is up. I believe Dubu was in there like seconds before it spawned.
But yeah, that ward you're talking about.
Dubu just kind of chilling tree line and planting that one down to set things up nice and easy for the team.
It's just so much damage so quickly. That's part of the reason why these BKBs are so valuable, but also they're not immortality. You need to be able to not be stunned to make it work at the beginning.
So they've now brought the top lane and the mid lane right to the sides of this plateau. They've put some wards up that they know are going to get dewarded, right? You got an Observer and a Sentry up on the pillar here for Fnatic, but they're trying to find some good fight here. Miracle just runs in.
Abed's there. DJ raiding jump as well if they want to. Need to be careful though because ISIS is not with them. He's TPing over right now as they already go in. Jabs in super deep up against Mind Control. He needs to be careful when his BKB wears off, but it looks like Liquid just want to back out. Kuro caught and going to be killed.
Great play there from Jabs. Man, Jabs has just been playing solo in these team fights, and it is working.
Yes.
He's really abusing his BKB. He's kind of reading, like, if Miracle's on the other side, I'm just going to try and go mess with the back line. And not the typical, like, position one stuff you expect, because that's not really what this Leshrac is doing for them. He's 4th on the net worth right now.
Yeah.
You know, you got to give some special permissions over to DJ.
It definitely feels like DJ is the real carry in this game. And needs to be the one to hit those big black holes. And even just the threat of it right there, you can see that Liquid not willing to clump up together to try and take the fight. Always just giving up one kill instead of forcing a really bad engagement.
Well, they'll continue to keep these lanes in good stature for themselves here. Miracle forced to drop the call down to try and send them back. Weehaw very aggressively split pushing on the side lanes, but you know, we talked a lot about BKB piercing and everything from the side of Liquid, but Fnatic, they would require the Black Hole to really deal with this if he wants a BKB TP, or perhaps a Split Earth, I suppose, as well. Sorry, not Split Earth, the Earth Splitter.
You know, as soon as I saw those, I'm gonna mess those up at some point.
Yeah, you knew that was going to happen. You know, Split Earth, if that was BKB piercing, now that would be good.
That's the buff he needs, right? Leshrac needs more buffs.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be so balanced.
Uh-oh. Mind Control again moves forward. The big watermelon, daring somebody to go at him. Miracle coming in afterwards, playing intercept. Ice. Also up front and center, now facing off against the gyrocopter. Everybody waiting for their moment. A Hex is out as well. Does Mind Control decide to jump? Jabs just runs at him.
They are not
lift up.
They're so split.
They need to be careful though, because there's only 1 or 2 ways down from this high ground, and Miracle now the back line's dropping down very low, pops the BKB, good way to force it out. We are able to find the Reaper sight to turn this one back around. It's a black hole, it's on to nothing! It didn't hit anything! They've got the refresher, but does he have the mana to go back in? He does with their regen rune as well.
He's got Arcane.
Look at this, they're running in all over them. The shackles are there as well. DJ wanting to find a black hole, but look at Liquid! They're beautifully split up, and DJ is just gonna fall apart. The Ravage comes down afterwards. Liquid running through Fnatic.
Weehaw spaced himself away there too, and DJ felt the pressure to go on to him. There wasn't a sight, but he turned for it anyway, and Liquid, that whole team fight, Liquid are so far apart. They sent Miracle up there. The only reason he was forced to BKB was because of that Spirit Vessel.
Yeah.
Right? He's trying to like stay alive, keep the damage going, but absolutely masterfully done there from Liquid, and that's why they're one of the best teams, because they look at their opponents and they say, how do we lose this fight? What are these guys trying to do? And you know they're fishing for that black hole, so you just don't give it to them.
Hide away, stay to the side. Doesn't matter if the fight looks weird. You have the sustain on this Liquid team.
I mean, there were moments where they start coming together a little bit, and you could see someone's making this call like, split, and they're just running in like random directions in the team fight. That doesn't look like the optimal play, but they understand it's the only way for Fnatic.
And you look at these guys, Liquid, cool as a cucumber, just gonna run forward brazenly and say, deal with me, Fnatic. Because right now, they don't have the answers. Kunkka's still dead for 17 seconds at Timbersaw. He's out of action for a minute. So the tier 3 tower gone. Now looking for the set of racks. And DJ saying, one last ride. Let's see if we can go in there and deal with it.
Oh, Liquid's here. The tide has come in.
25 seconds until Black Hole is up. They have the sleep gyrocopter not stopped and hitting the towers because of the Aghanim Scepter. And the building's going. Tier 4 towers, they force the glyph. Fnatic.
Knock. Hello.
They need to have an answer. And still a couple of seconds.
Home?
10 seconds until Black Hole. They need to hold on. The Stomp comes out another round. They're losing everything right now, DJ. Hiding back away again, seeing if he can find a good angle, but it needs to be Liquid that give it to him, and it's not looking like it's going to happen. Miracle making particle effects fly all over the freaking world as he's going to get caught out there. Black Hole 1 and 2. Is it actually enough? Is it? No, they interrupted, but they were able to take down the Aegis at the very least. It doesn't look like it's quite going to be there. The Stomp comes out. It wasn't able to time it perfectly. Abed trying desperately to hold on to these racks. They're dropping meteors down from the sky, but Dubu not able to get the Stomp off. They jump in another round. Ice trying desperately to hold on. A triple kill DJ. Can he find his moment? They need to hold on. He jumped forward. The black hole, but he didn't get Miracle. Miracle trying to close out this game. Can they take him down in time? No. The Ancient will fall. And with that, Team Liquid are moving on. Fnatic out of TI9.
They really tried everything they could in those team fights. Couldn't have asked for much more in some of those final moments there, but it just wasn't enough. Team Liquid, they held on through that storm that was coming from the side of Fnatic, and they washed away what was left of the Dire team.
Well, you can see Team Liquid able to take the victory there. Impressive showing from them, indeed. And a little bit of love from the crowd there.
They don't get that worked up, I feel like, until they actually win the whole thing at tournaments. They are pretty chill, right? Yeah. Be like water, my friend, that sort of deal. I think this one means a lot. Of course, it's a best of one, so it's always me extremely hype and stuff, but, you know, these guys, they don't want to be. They don't feel like a first-round lower bracket team.
No. Well, definitely. And unfortunate for Fnatic here as well, dropping out at the early stage, but it does mean that obviously a winner and loser always happens. We're going to head back to the desk, hear more about it.
Yeah, I think one of the first things that pops into my mind when you do see Liquid able to hang on here, you didn't expect to see them in the best of one. They're one of the few squads that has the potential to create a few two-time TI champions. The other thing that jumps off the page to me when we actually look at that game, and Kyle, you were one of the people that really pointed this out, we have a Necro in it, and Necro is going to be synonymous with Matu, who could have been one of the other people to be going for that two-time TI. Now they're playing that same hero without Matu.
Yeah. It feels a little bit odd, but they got the win, right? Like, if you lose that game, you're really looking back at this. You're like, we fell back at this draft, and then we lost with it. But they get the win, you move on to BO3s, and it becomes a lot, not easier, but it feels a lot better now for Liquid.
Yeah, I could see the right decision-making in the end, going for tier 4 towers instead of going for mega creeps, where they actually see that they can end the game. They have all the buybacks. Wisp goes in, and Miracle dodges that black hole to finish off the game. If he died there, this game could have dragged a little bit more. A lot of sustain, and once the Spirit Vessel was on, that changed the whole game.
Yeah, and it reminded me of, you could see the potential for the Manila Major magic of Fnatic. They had that epic 62-minute game against PSG LGD in the upper bracket before they were PSG, actually. And I thought maybe if he gets Gyro, there's a possibility. Liquid fans have got to be breathing a huge sigh of relief, because I cannot imagine the backlash if Liquid go to this Necro and get eliminated.
100%.
But in this scenario, they've been here before, right? When they won TI7, it was mostly through the lower bracket gauntlet. Like, this is a position Crow's been in before. You can't count out this team, even though their group stage was a bit iffy.
Yeah, and now I do want to take an opportunity to start to set the stage. We're going to have Casey here in a few moments with GH to actually talk about everything. But what does this kind of indicate to you when you start to see them fall back on a draft? That's obviously something that they did before they made the roster change. Is it still comfort for some of the players on the squad? Like, does it indicate anything moving forward?
Oh, for sure. I mean, that's vintage Liquid. If you could think of a Liquid, like, that's it.
I owe Gyro just first pick, right? That's Liquid, yeah.
All right, well, a little bit of insight from us here, but let's actually jump down and hear what Casey has to say.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, GH, congratulations. I could see the relief on your face as you exited those pods. Can you walk us through how this feels? I know it's got to be a lot harder coming in lower bracket than upper bracket, which I know is something you're used to from TI8 too.
Well, yeah, it's not ideal going into the lower bracket, especially if it's a best of one. So the nerves and the pressure gets to you. I wouldn't say we panicked or anything. We were trying to take the game one game at a time. We're trying to focus on what's next, what's upcoming. Even though it's not perfect situation for us to be in the lower bracket, but we're still trying to play our game that we all love.
Are you able to hear the support of the audience? I mean, it's obvious that there are a lot of fans here. And that's what's so beautiful about Dota, right? People travel all over the world to see their favorite people play the best Dota.
Yeah, it's amazing having fans. TI has always been one of the best stages in the world to play on. I remember my TI7 experience was one of a kind, and I'm trying to repeat that ever since.
What did you learn through group stage that you think were the biggest lessons that you're applying to main stage?
What I learned is more like life lessons more than Dota lessons. So I learned that communication is extremely important whenever it comes to team games, and especially with the way Dota has evolved, it's more a team game more than ever right now. So what I learned is listening to my teammates. Sometimes we have to swallow our egos and not look at what we want, just basically look at what's best for the game or what the others are saying. That's what I learned.
I love that perspective, and I'm going to use that as a chance to ask you something that people talk about a lot when it comes to TI, which is there or isn't there a specific TI meta where, yes, you have your season, but then as soon as group stage starts, some magic seems to happen and everybody plays their own Dota, and sometimes it looks a lot different.
Thing is, we keep talking about this thing called meta, which I don't really believe in. I feel like every single team can create their own, let's call it meta as well. They just need to play good. If they do something good, then it will show up as a new meta. But I don't believe really in this word as meta, so I don't think all the teams have to play in one certain way to win the games. I feel like every single team can do what they believe is right and win the game if they do it correctly.
Just stay focused on playing your Dota.
Exactly. They focus on playing what they think is best.
Are you focused on the next match, or are you going to give yourself a moment to relax and decompress?
I mean, honestly, I don't think we have enough time to relax and decompress. So we're going to go back, probably have some dinner and prepare for the upcoming day.
What are you going to eat? What's for dinner?
This is looking rough, actually. I love Italian food, so I would say pizza, but pizza on the stomach right now doesn't do justice. So I think I won't do pizza. I'll do something a bit less fatty.
Like a salad, maybe?
Preferably not.
Okay, not a salad.
Yeah. I mean,
okay, go for a healthy pizza.
No. Maybe some chicken or some meat.
Okay, keep it simple.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jade. Back to you guys.
Hey, nothing tastes better than victory, and ultimately he already did get a little bit of that for supper. I think JH obviously is talking about a lot of things that are really important, that when we see how some of the top tier teams really do think, we always do get back to meta. I think it's something that we talk about a lot on panels. I think it's something that the community tends to talk a lot about as well, and it's basically the idea of how the game is played currently. That's what meta typically is, but it very quickly devolves into how the game should be played, is how it's discussed.
There's so many undiscovered themes in the game that you can't really call it meta. If it's like 3-1-1 lanes, we can call that meta. Some heroes are picked a lot, but there's other stuff in the game, the undiscovered stuff like OG, who has different understanding of the game right now.
Definitely. And now I do want to jump down to the floor. We have Shaver with Ice Ice Ice.
Yes, thank you very much, Rich. Ice, you started this year. Dude, he was very chipper when he came here, by the way. He's trying to be extra sad. But you started this year really well with your squad. What happened that it didn't end up working out?
What? I guess we played bad and we couldn't find the right meta for the tournament. So halfway throughout the group stage, I think we sort of figured it out. I think we did well on the first day, and then we fell off, and second day we totally fell. So third, fourth day we kind of figured out how we're gonna play, and I guess we just couldn't maintain it.
And the whole year has been a little ups and downs. How do you look back on the year, on this season?
It would be nice to have more majors in Asia. Yeah, I like Asia majors. I'm afraid of flying.
Okay, well, having it near, that would be better for you. Because that brings me to the next question. Have you even considered this result for you and your squad? And have you even thought about what is next for you?
I guess I did consider this result based on the performance on the group stage. And kind of also based off from our streams and practice. But I thought we could have went further, maybe like top 6 to 8, if we kind of maintain like the top performance, the consistency that we kind of lack always. Yeah. So yeah, it's like I don't feel that bad because we played bad, like in the game, and you could say like we choked, and so the loss came off. The loss came off better compared to last year. Yeah, last year I wanted Artifact, but there's no new games this year, so it's like.
All right. Do you have anything to say to your fans? You've got a lot of fans in all different regions. What do you want to say to them?
Be happy. Yeah, life's good too. I did.
All right, short but sweet. Back to you, Rich.
Even in defeat, Ice always one of the most entertaining personalities, not only in Dota, but just that I think a lot of us have ever encountered. But now we are getting ready to set the stage for another best of one. We have 2 more best of ones today. The next one is going to be Infamous versus Keen.
感谢3位来接受我们采访。那首先问一下 ，KG 也是在 TI8